Yes, 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 yes. It's the Morning Sky Show. Welcome, everybody. Welcome to the show. I know you're having a beautiful Friday. Happy Friday, everybody. I know you're having a good time. I know you're having a lovely day. Because it's a beautiful morning. It's a great time to be alive. Of course you're having a great day. Uh-huh, uh-huh. Everybody, thank you for being here. That vegan teacher's live. What the heck? She's going opposite me. That vegan teacher, what are you doing, that vegan teacher? Good morning, rebels. Oh gosh, darn it. Here we go. Are you ready? Are you ready for this shit? Are you ready for this shit? Are you ready for this shit?
You don't want to get mixed up with a guy like me. I'm a loner, Daddy.
I'm a rebel. I'm a rebel, Dottie. Are you a rebel? Oh my goodness gracious. Great balls of fire. This is happening. Ow, 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 ow. It's on the horizon. Hey everybody. Morning rebels. It's finally Friday. Good morning. Good morning. Good morning. Thank you. Don't forget to hit that like button. Hit the share button. Hit the hype button. Hit the buttons. Hit the button. Jack Morgan, start your day just fine. Just fine. Ho, 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 ho. Weather on the go. Morning shows you need to know. Join us on this daily ride with your morning side by side. Catch the latest, feel the vibe. All right, let's go. Yeah. All right. Good morning headlines. Sky Jack Morgan. Oh man, I got my bolo tie on today. Check this out. I got a bolo tie. What do you think about that? Pretty cool, right? Pretty cool. Yeah, it's cool. I know it's cool. I know it's cool. Look at this. Are you jelly? Are you? Don't be jelly. Don't be jelly, baby doll. Don't be jelly that I got a bolo and you don't. I live in the Southwest now. It's a thing. Everybody who lives in the Southwest, they have bolo ties. It's a whole thing here. So I got one. What do you think? Do I look like? Howdy, partner. Howdy, partner. I'm from the Southwest now. This is what I'm all about. Yes, sirree. What do you think about Treasury printing $7 to $8 billion to buy back out 30-year bonds, keep the interest rate low, but it went up 24 hours later. We are fucked. Yeah. Well, that was a way for them to pretend like they could manipulate the market, but you can't because they want to circumvent the whole, Fed. They don't like the Fed making the interest rates. And so they're trying to go around them. Oh, we're not fucked. It's gonna be great. Turquoise is your favorite jewelry. Well, that's what I'm wearing. I think. I guess this is turquoise. I just like that it's blue. I like that it's blue. My name is Sky Jack Morgan, and I'm an independent news and culture commentator, free speech and critical thinking advocate. And well, this is the #1 news reaction show on YouTube. Welcome to the show. Welcome everybody. Welcome. I'm glad that you're here. I still don't have my green screen up because I have to build a bed. I just moved. I'm working on it, boo. I'm working on it, boo. I'm working on it, baby doll honey pie. Morning, Jack. I hope you're feeling better. Speaking of which, may want to look into tinctures. Tinctures, huh? You had me at tink. I'll look into it. I'm feeling a lot better. Everything is great. My health is fantastic. Thank you, everybody, for wondering. My health is back on. I'm almost there. I'm almost at 100, and I even went to an open mic yesterday at a little cafe up the road from me, and they had this open mic, and I just thought it was so cool. And I was feeling good enough. I was still limping. So, but I felt like I could drive there and I can like hobble in, and I did. I didn't perform, but I watched other people perform, and it was great. There was a lady with a 10. She sang in Spanish, and she had like a 10-string ukulele mandolin style instrument that I didn't recognize. 10 strings, and it was round and had a bunch of holes in it. I don't know what kind of thing it was, but it was rad, and she sang really great. And then the Albuquerque Songwriters Group was represented very well there. So there's a bunch of people playing originals, which I thought was cool, and some covers. And man, next time I think I'm gonna play for sure. 10 strings, yeah. Is there an instrument played in the Latino community that has 10 strings? That's kind of like a traditional instrument or something. I don't know. Let me see what the AI says. A charango or a cuatro. A Puerto Rican. A charango. The charango and the cuatro both have 10 strings, and they're both played in Latin America. Let me see if I can get a picture of one. Yeah, it looks like one of those. You know what this is? It totally looks like. Here, I'm going to share this real fast. It looks like it looked like a van. It kind of looks like this, except it had like weird holes. See, this one's made out of a dead armadillo, which I don't approve of. This one also is made out of a dead armadillo. It had a round back like this though, and so, but it didn't just have one sound hole. It had other. It had like this. Look at multiple sound holes. It had something more like this vibe going on. This one, it kind of looked like this, a charango, and she was playing it beautifully. And I thought it was pretty cool. I mean, I've never seen anyone playing a charango. Not that I can remember. I mean, I probably have, but I mean, when was the last time you saw someone play a charango? You know what I'm saying? Did you hear Natalie Shart wiper his in Trump's trunk? Psycho PS. Where's Melania? Where is Melania? I don't know. She finger picked it, but she strummed mostly. She played. She did not have a pick. She used just her manos changos, and played. But she played it like a ukulele is the best thing I could compare it to. Yeah, that's how you get leprosy, is dead armadillos. Is that how you get? Leprosy? Wow, I had no idea. From the dead armadillo, dang armadillos. Do you guys remember when I was driving across the country? I forget where I was. I want to say I was in Kansas. I forget where I was, and I only drove for like maybe 90 minutes, and I saw over 10 dead armadillos on the side of the road. So much roadkill. I guess armadillos just get whacked all the time. I guess I think it was Kansas. I could be wrong. It wasn't Texas. It could have been Arkansas. I don't know. I was somewhere in the South and saw a bunch of dead armadillos. I guess I could have picked one up and made a charango out of it. Yeah. It was awful. Well, they're little white little dead white little animals. Speaking of Natalie Shart, though, we're going to cover a lot today, and I kind of want to get into it. Natalie Harp, I kind of wanted to look at some of her speeches really fast from C-SPAN and other places. Is that okay with y'all? Can we go look at that? My name is Sky Jack Morgan, independent news and culture commentator, free speech and critical thinking. Please drop a bunch of, on that little emoji erection, please drop a bunch of emojis, drop in a bunch, spam the chat. Now's your time to spam. It'll bring all the boys to the yard. It'll help the algo push the rhythm. It's the rhythm of your life. It's the rhythm of your life. Algo. The rhythm of their life. Here we go. Here she comes.
Good evening. I'm Natalie Harp, a formerly forgotten American from California.
Formerly forgotten America. California. Next time you hear someone talk shit, next time you hear some magger talk about how they hate California, just remember, Natalie Harp is from California. You're very welcome. You've never seen a live armadillo in the wild, only dead ones. Pretty sure it's a conspiracy and they all actually dead. I've seen live ones and dead ones. But maybe it's just me. Maybe I'm part of the conspiracy. I'm part of the vast armadillo conspiracy. That's what this channel is now about armadillos and charangos.
In the classic Jimmy Stewart film, It's a Wonderful Life, George Bailey is given a great gift, the chance to see what the world would be like without him. Tonight, Mr. President, we'd like to give you that same gift.
And you won't even have to attempt suicide in order to do it, Mr. President. George Bailey tries to jump off a bridge. Maybe does he actually jump? I forget. Or does Clarence pull him back? I forget. Clarence is watching him, and he's like, don't jump because the world. I wish I'd never been born. Okay, I wish I'd never been born. Okay, Jimmy Stewart, George Bailey. He's gonna. That's what Donald Trump is, just like George Bailey, everybody. He's going to save the town.
Because without you, we'd all be living in Pottersville, sold out to a crooked Mr., or I should say, a crooked Mrs. Potter.
Because Kamala Harris is Mrs. Potter.
No hope of escape except death itself. I should know. Because I wouldn't be alive today if it wasn't for you.
What the That's a weird transition. Life itself, I should know, because I'd be dead if it weren't for your healing Jesus hands, Donald Trump.
About 5 years ago, I was the victim of a notoriously deadly medical error. I survived, but only to be diagnosed with a rare and terminal bone cancer. You know, the Democrats love to talk about healthcare being a human right. But a right to what? Well, I'll tell you. To them, it's a right to marijuana.
What? What is this lady talking about? Those fucking Democrats always talking about y'all, you people all over the world, all you Israelis and Iranians and Iraqis and Germans and French and Canadians and Mexicans and Cubans and English, all of you talking about how healthcare is a human right. I know what you really mean. It's a right to marijuana. Okay. I know what you really mean. It's a right to marijuana, the devil's lettuce. What the hell is this lady talking? This lady's crazy. The right to health care is the right to marijuana. Marijuana cigarettes.
Opioids, and the right to die with dignity. A politically correct way of saying assisted suicide. Huh? I was told I was a burden to my family and to my country, and that by choosing to die early,
Did the Democrats tell you that?
Actually be saving the lives of others by preserving resources for them rather than wasting them on a lost cause.
Isn't that what, hold on a second. Isn't that what MAGA says all the time? You're better off, that all these immigrants are better off dead? That all of these people who are sucking on our welfare, our amazing, our notoriously great welfare system in America. Yeah. You're better off dead.
Like myself. And when I failed the chemotherapies that were on the market, no one wanted me in their clinical trials.
They gave me the ace of spades. The ace of spades!
I'd make them look bad. They didn't give me the right to try experimental treatments, Mr. President. You did. And without you, I'd have died waiting for them to be approved.
Of course, this is something we debunked yesterday. She did not get experimental treatment. She got off-brand, off-topic shit. She got some stuff that was actually FDA approved and not experimental. It was a drug that they thought would help her, and it did. But it was already FDA. It was not experimental. It was a drug. It's kind of like how they developed Viagra for, I think it was a heart medication or some shit, and they're like, oh, it makes guys' dicks hard. Let's start prescribing it to the infertile, and so they did, and they started marketing it as such, and now they've got the boner pill. Same kind of thing. She had a disease, a bone cancer thing, and the doctor's like, well, we have this drug that it's not necessarily intended for what you got, but we think it's had some promising results, so we'll give you that. And she's like, okay, thanks. That's it. That has nothing to do with right to try. Has nothing to do with fucking Donald Trump. It's just the doctor's giving her something that was FDA approved already, just not for that particular use, which is pretty commonplace. It's not super rare.
Now with the coronavirus,
She got lucky.
everyone knows what that feels like to be waiting for a cure. But we've only been waiting a few months. Just imagine.
With the coronavirus, we all know what it's like to be waiting for a cure. Thanks to Donald Trump, we all got the vaccine, right? Because of Operation Warp Speed. That was his thing. He got the vaccine ready for us. Thanks, Donnie. Thanks, DJ.
Imagine what 2020 would have looked like, fighting for your life without Donald Trump fighting for it too. In January, there would have been no China travel ban. Millions would have died. Millions more would have been infected.
1 million people did die. 2020 was the bloodiest year in the history of the United States of America, and it was under Donald Trump's watch. He is to blame. I hope Trump meets the Grim Reaper. Trump is the Grim Reaper, bro. You ever seen Death Goes on a Holiday or Death Takes a Holiday? Or what was that one, Joe Black, Meeting Joe Black or Meet Joe Black? That's the situation. The Grim Reaper is on holiday, but instead of going into like the handsome 20-something-year-old Brad Pitt, he's going into the octogenarian most powerful man in the world, Donald Trump. Ding dang do.
For there be no record levels of testing, no right to try treatments, no fast track for a vaccine, nor Operation Warp Speed ready to deliver it. And without Donald Trump,
I mean, bone cancer, man, I don't know. A very close friend of mine, her long-term boyfriend died of bone cancer, and it was like he just had a little bit of a pain in his back, and he was like, I can't walk, man. I can't walk. I can't get out of the car. I can't do anything. He was just, from then on, he was in a wheelchair, and like a year later, he was dead. But bone cancer is a killer. It does fucking. It depends on where you get it. You get it in your face and shit. Like you can die. Fucking. Have you ever seen pictures of what bone cancer? Nightmare-inducing shit. People who die of bone cancer and they take their bones out. Oh my god. Oh my god. I don't know how. It's excruciating. They suffer very much. So I mean, she got lucky though. You know, she got lucky with she had stage 2 bone cancer. They caught it kind of early, so sort of, and she had good medical care, and they had drugs for her, and it was already FDA approved. So, you know, she got lucky. She's giving all that credit to Donald Trump, which is hilarious, but whatever.
as our patient advocate for the past 4 years, well, the opioid epidemic would have stolen even more lives from even more families. Kidney patients would have no future except dying on wait lists, for there'd be no initiative to increase donations. There'd still be no accountability at the VA. And our brave
No accountability at the VA? What the fuck? What the fuck's she talking about?
veterans would still be suffering long wait times with no choice nor access to faster care. Insulin and other drug prices would have continued to rise, while a record number of generic drugs would still be stuck in the pipeline. There'd be no price transparency. We wouldn't have health plans up to 60% cheaper than Obamacare.
Wow, you're right. This is exactly like It's a Wonderful Life. This is the same thing. It's just like the It's a Wonderful Life. She nailed it. She nailed that analogy perfectly. Just like George Bailey. Donald Trump is George Bailey. Now, Mary, I'm going to get the moon. I'm going to get the moon for you, Mary. I'm going to get it for you. It's so beautiful. It's the most beautiful moon anybody's ever seen. It's the most gorgeous moon. Buffalo girl, won't you come out tonight? I'm going to sew a lasso around the moon. I'm going to get the moon. The moon's got a giant slung. I love big dicks. Just beautiful moon. Beautiful moon. I love it. Lots of cheese on the moon. Lots of cheese. It got lots of cheese on the moon. What in the hell is she talking about? Her mom, like a big Tammy Faye Baker fan. Oh no. Her mom looked like a big Tammy Faye Baker. What do you think? Guilty? Was she as guilty as her husband? I think so. What was his name? John Baker? George Baker? What was her husband's name? Tammy Faye. Tammy Faye Baker and her husband. Everyone's like, oh, have you ever seen the movie Tammy Faye? Like, I don't buy it. I don't buy it. She was in on it the whole time. That con duo. It takes two to operate a con that big, just like Donald Trump and Jeffrey Epstein. You need two people to do something that big. It takes a lot. Jim Baker, thank you. Jim Baker, that's his name. Jimbo Baker. Yeah. They fired like a quarter. I know they fired a bunch of people in the VA, and she's saying like George Bailey knows the real Donald Trump is the real George Bailey. Indeed. Natalie's mom has the big hair, tons of makeup, hardcore evangelical. Oh, gross. Was she handling snakes too and talking in tongues? You've seen these people talking in tongues. It's like, come on, man. Like, I don't know about you, but if I went to a church and they're like, fuck you, I'm out, bro. Like, what? I can't believe am I really supposed to take people seriously that speak in tongues? Am I supposed to take that seriously? I'm sorry. I know that Congress shall not pass any law pass or enact any law that favors one religion or whatever. But can we all just agree that the tongue speaker? Who are those people? Are they Pentecostals? Who are those? Pentecostals are the snake handlers, right? Who are the Christians that speak in tongues? I can't believe I'm Googling this. Pentecostal. Yeah. Yeah, it's Pentecostals. The Pentecostals. What the fuck, man? I can't believe
We'd
it.
still be stuck with that infamous individual mandate. And God forbid what the next 4 years would look like.
The individual mandate just meant that everybody had to get health insurance. It wasn't that big of a deal. I thought it was a good idea, actually. Hey, everyone's got to get it. Everyone's got to get it. Okay? But whatever. They got rid of that, and now ACA is underfunded, and your prices have gone up. Now I don't know why Obamacare is so expensive. It's supposed to be cheap. Yeah, because you guys got rid of the individual mandate. You guys gutted it. You gutted the fucking bill. You gutted the system. You gutted the plan. I don't know why it didn't work. Okay, it didn't work because it was a dumb idea to start. And it was only going to work if everyone fucking did it. And everybody didn't do it. So now, guess what? Ding, ding, do.
For in Joe Biden's America, China would control our drug production. We'd be one.
I mean, look, everyone talks about, Barack Obama's Obamacare. Look, man, then we should have done single-payer health care like everybody else in the free world. But instead, we like sucking off these oligarchs. We like begging at the table like Pomeranians. Please, me. Could I please have a little bit of a crumb, sir? And so that's what we're stuck with, okay? Because Barack Obama and Mitt Romney's idea was the whole reason we ended up with the ACA was because Barack Obama was like, well, Romney care, people love that shit. So why don't we just, the Republicans have agreed to Romney care, so let's do that. We'll give money to the rich and powerful, and they'll pinky swear that they'll lower our prices for the people. Sounds like a plan. Sounds like the most American way of doing healthcare, doesn't it? Give the rich people all the money. And then we'll take the money from the poor, give it to the rich, and the rich will promise to charge the poor less, because that always will work. We'll just pay it forward. It works. And the only reason they did that was because they knew that the Republicans were never going to go for fucking single-payer health care. They were never going to do it. So we got stuck with ACA, and it sucks. The Affordable Care Act. It sucks. And then the only way the ACA was going to work was if they with the individual mandate, and they gutted it. So, well, what do you know? Another cash grab, and you paid for it, and you and I are left out in the cold while Donald Trump and his Epstein-class friends are yucking it up in ballrooms all over America. Yuck, yuck, yuck in their PJs and their pajamas on their private jets. Pajamas on private jets. Big cigars. They're probably drinking coffee and smoking big cigars.
One step closer to government-run healthcare. We wouldn't just be unable to keep our doctors. We'd be lucky if we could see any doctor. And even then, some of us would be denied care. For in socialized...
Yeah, we should take away Congress's health care and the military's health care, all socialized medicine. We should take it all away. Because if I can't have it as an American, I'm born here, why the fuck can't I get health care? No, I got to pay something like $200, $300 a month for fucking healthcare. And then every time I go see a motherfucking doctor, I got to go pay that asshole $50. What the hell? Every time I get healthcare, I never go to the doctor because I'm like, well, I feel healthy, and another $50, bro. I can like use that $50 for beer or something, $50. I mean, that's a night out. I could go out and meet girls. I'd rather go out and meet girls than go see some asshole doctor, have him cup my nuts with cold hands. At least women, they got warm hands usually. Sometimes they're cold, but they're usually warm by the time they get to my nuts. You know what I mean? So I prefer the ladies cupping my nuts to doctors. So I'd rather go out and spend $50 on drinks and dinner or something like that. And I guess that's a cheap night out, $50. But I don't like my point. I think it's a waste of money.
Medicine? You don't beat the odds. You become the odds. And I would lose my right to try, just like Charlie Gard, that terminally ill British baby whose government-run healthcare system decided it was too expensive and too cruel to keep him alive.
What?
You see, Mr.
There's a random English person who died?
President, you've done so much more.
There's a random English person who died, everybody, and that's why the richest country in the world with the most billionaires in the world, that's why the country with a third of the world's billionaires and the first trillionaire, we can't afford health care for everybody because somebody died in England, you dumb assholes. That's why. Somebody died in England, the fifth richest country in the world. It's fifth or sixth, I don't know. They're usually right behind California. On the ranking of who is the richest country in the world, where's England? England ranks fifth. Ooh, nailed it. England is fifth. And it's like all those GDPs combined, then we got the richest country in the whole wide world, way richer than England. And she's like, somebody died in England, and that's why we cannot have healthcare in this country. We should handle snakes and speak in tongues. Go to your faith healer.
More than your promises made and promises kept. For numbers only tell part of the story.
That's true. I mean, there's no pictures on scorecards. That's what they say in golf.
Are the rest of it. Facts with faces of Americans who would still be forgotten if you and our favorite First Lady
favorite First Lady. Oh my God, this lady.
given up your own wonderful life so we could have the chance at one. George Bailey's father was right. All you can take with you is that which you've given away. And Mr. President, that makes you the richest man in the world.
Because you've given us everything. You're the richest man in the world, Donald Trump, because you can only take with you. I guess she never read Everyman. You can't take anything with you. Have you ever heard of Everyman? It's an old play, and he goes to his good. He knows he's going to die, and he's like, "Hold on, let me go to my riches." And he goes to the riches, the wealth. They're like, "No, I can't come with you." And then he goes to his good deeds, and his good deeds are like, "I can't come with you." And then he goes to his family. His family's like, "I can't go with you." And he finds out, no, you're just going to go in the grave by yourself. You can't take anything with you.
For you have used your strength to make America.
Democrats kill kids before they're born. God damn it, you maggers. Why are you so illiterate every single time? Why? Are you guys so homophobic? You're homophonic? Like, you don't know your homophones? They're born, throw race cards, cheat in elections. Democrats, though. Well, I don't know why you're talking about Democrats, but I'm not a Democrat, and I don't know very many. I don't even know any Democrats, I don't think. Maybe I do. I'm not one, though. And, I guess if you want to talk about Democrats killing babies, it's so weird. How many abortions do you think Donald Trump has paid for? Do you think it's over 100? How many abortions do you think Donald Trump has paid for? How many? Put it in the chat. I want to know. I really want to know. How many you think? I mean, he did pay a porn star to shut the fuck up. So I feel like you're right there. You're right there trying to figure out, how many do you think he's paid for? I don't know, but I think it's more than one. It's definitely more than one. None. He doesn't pay. Ralph Cohen pays for it. Ralph, you got to fix this for me, buddy. You got to fix this for me. She's preggers, okay?
She's 13 and she's preggers. I didn't think they could get pregnant that young. Maybe we gotta go younger next time, Jeffrey. We gotta go younger so you can't get pregnant. Oh, God.
America strong again. Sacrifice the life you built to make America proud again. And you risked everything to make America safe again. It's a wonderful life. You made America great again. And on November 3rd, we are going to keep America great.
Boom, and then he lost. I'm sorry, she lost. That's sad. We're going to keep America great. You are the most wonderful. I am in a arena that's empty. No one's here because of how you handled the COVID outbreak. No one's here. We're not allowed to be around each other. People are dying in the streets. There are literally refrigerated trucks filled with corpses. And you've made America so great. It's 2020, everybody. America, Donald Trump, you really nailed it. You really nailed it, Donnie. You really did. You're just like fucking George Bailey. Yeah, Mary, I'm just like George Bailey.
There are a lot of times in the Trump era that we have to remind ourselves, and I think this is so important to step back and kind of do this, that what's happening is not in any way normal. I mean, for example, it is definitely not normal for the First Lady of the United States to have to come out and remind us all that she exists.
Good afternoon. I heard you missed me. Here I am.
Here I am. I still have never met Jeffrey Epstein. I have never met him. He was at my wedding and I did not ever meet him. Watch the Melania movie. It is the best. No one has ever seen a story quite like it. It is wonderful.
I've watched that 20 times today. Yes, that was Melania Trump today, making her first public appearance in over a month. It's one of only a handful of rare sightings. And according to the Daily Beast, who actually tallied this up, thank you, Daily Beast, the First Lady has only been seen in public 38 days this year. It is the end of August, everyone. That is not normal.
You're right. That is not normal. What do you think she's doing all day? I mean, Barron is out of the house. What's she doing? She's shacking up with somebody, right? Somebody's digging out Melania for sure, right? For sure, man. She's like Robin Wright's character in that show about the cards and the houses. What's that show called? Card Flippers. What's that show called about the cards and the houses with Kevin Spacey and Robin Wright? Something about card flippers.
And of course, it's also not normal for the president to be accompanied so frequently by an aide like this woman, who you can see.
She's picking out outfits. Just a touch right here. Just a touch. More straight, just a touch. Anyone who's seen the Melania movie knows what I'm talking about. Half the movie is her kind of like mildly berating her team of designers. This is going to be a masterpiece. No one's going to know how you got into it because we've hidden the seam. It's going to be at the Smithsonian. It's such a beautiful dress. All right, buddy. It's just a fucking dress. That's so weird. People get so... Anyway, just a touch. More straight. Hamburglar hat.
On your screen, Natalie Harp. We all know who she is now. And I don't mean it's not normal for the president to have aides who travel with him everywhere, including female aides, but believe me, I've been one of those several times. Plenty of presidents have those. But it is not normal for a person working in the White House to write intimate, devotional, personal letters for the president, to the president, never mind leave them in his personal spaces. But that is what Natalie Harp does. It's not normal for a person without a security.
Look, man, we all know Donald Trump is turned on by people he owns. It doesn't matter if you're a boy or a girl, a man or a woman, old or young. He doesn't give a shit. If he can own you, he wants to fuck you. I think that's the only thing that has ever turned Donald Trump on. Is he homosexual? Not really. Is he bisexual? No. Is he saposexual? Definitely not. If he can own you, then he'll fuck you. I don't know what kind of sexual orientation that would be. Let me think. Oh, a narcissistic fucking psychopath. That's what a narcissistic sociopath. That's his sexuality. His pronouns are, I own you, bitch. I own you.
Clearance or refused to fill out the forms for some reason to have close, regular access to the president. But MS Now reports that Natalie Harp did just that for an entire year. It's not normal for that same person to be the point of contact for foreign leaders hoping to speak to the president. But according to the New York Times' Maggie Haberman, Natalie Harp is that person too. It's not normal for a staffer to ride inside the trunk of a car.
I mean, look, Donald Trump, it's not that he can dominate them. It really is about the deal and the transaction for him. Listen to what he talks about. I one time read a thing about Howard Hughes where Howard Hughes loved deal making so much, way more than the management and all the other stuff. Like he made movies and stuff and he built businesses and he did all these crazy things, Howard Hughes. And people like thought he was an eccentric genius and all this stuff, but really he just loved making deals. And he didn't care if he lost. He'd be like, well, if I lose, then I lose, but I love making the deal. He just loved it. It made him feel alive. And he had enough money because he's like one of the richest men in the world, where it didn't matter if he lost money. And he always ended up making money because when you're rich, you can lose a lot and still make money. You can fail forward. And Howard Hughes was great at that. And he was talented and he was intelligent. But he sometimes would purposefully make deals that he knew weren't good for him because he liked the project or he just liked doing it. People say that about Richard Nixon, that Richard Nixon loved politics so much, like service and serving the people and governance. He didn't give a shit. He loved politicking. He loved all the backroom deals and the backroom talk and like getting so-and-so to talk to so-and-so and trade votes and shit. He loved all that stuff. And he was deeply into it, which is why he like recorded all his conversations and why he didn't care, why he broke into the Watergate Hotel and stole information from the Democratic National Committee. Anyway, I forget, or the campaign, or whatever, whoever he stole from, the campaign. So that type of kind of sickness, it's common. Like people like who's that guy who's Tiger Woods? He supposedly he wakes up and he just hits 500 golf balls. It's just like the dude just hits 500 golf balls a day, just has to. And it's like this sickness where that you just get fixated on something. People say that about Kobe Bryant, that they would show up at practice and he'd already been there for 3 hours. And they're like, what the fuck, dude? Do you have anything else going on in your life? And it's Black Mamba, you know? It's a form of mental illness. And I think Donald Trump has something similar where he just likes the transaction. He likes the deal. He likes owning other people. And he doesn't care win or lose. He doesn't care who he hurts. He doesn't care about any of that. He just likes feeling like a big guy, going into the meeting and feeling like a tough guy and all that shit. Read his books. He basically says that. Basically. Sort of. I've never heard that phrase, TDS. It's the Daily Show. TDS is the Daily Show. But anyway, I mean, anybody who looks at Donald Trump and thinks that like he's a normal dude, like you're crazy. He's not a normal guy. That dude, he has addiction problems. It's just not alcohol, right? He's hooked on drugs and yeah, deals. He doesn't give a shit. He likes the trappings of. It's not that I don't think he even likes money. He likes power over people.
Just to be close to the president, as CNN reports that Natalie Harp did to be close to Trump back in 2023. It's also not normal for the president to have.
Am I putting down Kobe Bryant? Well, I've actually met Kobe Bryant many times, and if I wanted to put him down, I can. So go fuck yourself. But no, I wasn't just at that moment. I was saying that sometimes you can channel it into good things. Some people, they get fixated and they have to paint 5,000 rabbits like that guy, Hunter Sloanum, whatever that artist's name is. He just keeps painting rabbits and keeps painting rabbits and keep painting rabbits. Or Chuck Close, like he had face blindness, and so what did he do? He just kept painting faces, couldn't stop painting faces, even though he would forget who he was painting and he wouldn't recognize the person he was painting. So there's a sickness that sometimes is channeled into good, but sometimes it's channeled into really bad. And sometimes it drives you mad. Like Howard Hughes.
Have an aide so devoted that she sprints alongside his golf cart when he's out on the links. But the New York Times reports that Natalie Harp did exactly that. It's not normal for the president to basically have an adult babysitter.
I mean, if anybody has TDS, it's definitely this bitch, right? What's her TDS? Harp? what's her name? Natalie Hart. She's definitely got the TD. She's deranged about Donald Trump. That's TDS. He's the most important person on planet Earth. And he's just like George Bailey from It's a Wonderful Life. He's going to save us all. And you only thing you can take to hell is what you've given to other people. And for that reason, Mr. Trump, you're the richest man in the world. It's crazy. That's TDS.
Of sorts, to have a human security blanket who accompanies him everywhere he goes. But that is the role that Natalie Hart plays for Donald Trump. And apparently, he is not even the only one in the Trump administration with a babysitter. Because the New York Times is out with new details about the very outsized, very hands-on role that Defense Secretary Pete Hegseth's wife plays in the department.
Yeah, it's crazy.
As the Times points out, quote, there has never been a Pentagon spouse quite like Jennifer Hegseth. And quote, her involvement in the defense.
All these trad men who are like so pussy whipped. These guys, they I'm so masculine. Honey, what do you think? Honey, what do you think, dear? They're just like, it's so funny that these guys are such tough guys and they're crashing Grinder every time they go out together, and their wives all hold their nuts in their purses. My God,
Honey, what should I do about the Middle East? Should I bomb Iran, honey? Oh, dear.
Department is so unusual that it has led to questions about Mr. Hegseth's leadership. Jennifer Hegseth has been playing the role of babysitter for her husband since, well, almost immediately after he was nominated. I mean, she was constantly at his side. Remember this when he was interviewing with senators ahead of his confirmation hearings? In fact, the Times notes that she startled Republican senators when she showed up at what are usually typically private meetings. And while Hegseth later acknowledged it was unusual, he insisted it just felt right.
It just feels right. And you know what? I'm a Christian man, and I can't be trusted because Pete Hegseth has paid off rape victims. He paid off a woman who said he raped her. Like, that happened. That's on the record. There's no denying it. Pete Hegseth paid a woman off who said, hey, this drunk asshole broke into my hotel room and raped me. And it was Pete Hegseth. Pete Hegseth is like, how about some money so you don't sue me and I don't have to lose my job at Fox. That's what happened. That's not slander or libel or anything. That's just what happened. Now he can't be trusted, so his wife has to go everywhere with him. Bring your wife to work every day. Bring your wife to work day. Bring your wife. These fucking, it's always so funny. It's always these manosphere cucks who have to bring their wives everywhere.
It was unusual. I remember the first meeting we went to that she came with. I was like, huh. And then it felt so right and so natural, not because of anything else, just because we've always been ride or die. It's always been, we're doing this together. And so when we did that first, I was like, oh, this is the way it's going to be the whole time. It's got to be. And so we made it happen so that she could be with me.
It's got to be. It certainly does not have to be. But that turns out that was just the beginning. Last year, the Wall Street Journal reported that Pete Hegseth brought his wife to sensitive meetings with foreign military officials. That included one occasion where she accompanied her husband to a high-stakes meeting with top British defense officials. A meeting that came just one day after the Trump administration cut off military intelligence sharing with Ukraine. And now the New York Times is shedding new light on that incident and revealing just how problematic Jennifer Hegseth's presence was at that critical moment. Here's what it says, quote, British officials indicated that they had officers on the ground in Ukraine and that without the U.S. intelligence, including early warnings of incoming missiles from Russia, the officers' lives were at risk. But those same British officials felt they could only speak in general terms about the situation because, quote, the presence of Mrs. Hegseth made them uneasy. Now, Pentagon spokesperson said that Mrs. Hegseth was only in the meeting for introductions, left soon after, and has not been present for any Defense Department conversation or meeting where classified information was discussed. But we do know that Mrs. Hegseth has been privy to at least some sensitive intelligence. I mean, last year, the New York Times reported that Hegseth actually included his wife on one of his infamous signal group chats where he shared detailed information about military strikes in Yemen. And Jennifer Hegseth's role at the Pentagon appears also to go beyond just being privy to sensitive discussions, which is in no way okay, but it's way beyond that. I mean, the Times reports that Mrs. Hegseth has also encouraged her husband's adversarial relationship with the news media and was eager to revoke the credentials of Pentagon reporters who she felt had written negative stories about her husband. That's according to one.
She does kind of, she's kind of like Peppermint Patty, isn't she? She's kind of got a Peppermint Patty vibe. I forget what her, I forget what Peppermint Patty's catchphrase was, but yeah. Such a beta male. Totally. Hegseth is totally a beta male. You're absolutely right. Let me bring I gotta bring my wife to work. Can you imagine anywhere else in the world? It just feels right to have my wifey with me at work everywhere I go. Fuck me. That is insane. How do you look at the, it's so funny because like, Donald Trump, Melania's nowhere to be found. Melania's MIA. But Pete Hegseth's wife, she's all up in the business. She's everywhere. God damn. God damn. Bring my wife to work day every day. Sir, you're the Department of Defense. Department of War! It's the warrior ethos! What's your wife doing here, then? It's the warrior ethos. I'm the Department of War. I'm the Secretary of War because I'm really manly and tough. Sir, your wife is holding your hand and patting you on the back to make sure that you feel safe at all times. Fucking weirdo.
Current and one former administration official. She's also become something of a cheerleader for his aggressive, chest-thumping style of leadership at the department. I mean, she even appeared alongside her husband for a workout with sailors and Marines after the Trump administration launched its war with Iran. You can see the two of them there wearing matching shirts that say, "This is war," not in any way understanding the irony of that, given they were saying it was not a war. But that aside, I guess Lululemon was all out of shirts that say, I don't know, this is just a little excursion, I suppose. And here's the thing. Despite her constant presence at...
She's wearing a shirt that says "This is war," but I'm guessing it was just for her tough mutter.
Pete Hegseth's side while he's on the job. The Pentagon won't even say whether or not she has a security clearance. Even Hegseth's own former Pentagon spokesperson finds the whole thing outrageous. As he told the New York Times, quote, "It's bonkers that a defense secretary would involve his wife in his sensitive official duties, including sharing details of an impending military operation and face zero consequences." But in Donald Trump's White House and administration, bonkers is kind of the new normal, whether it's Pete Hegseth's wife or Natalie Harp.
Illuminator. Look, man, I don't suck it easy. Donald Trump likes to suck my epic fury, man. My name is Bubba in the Epstein files. Look me up. I'm easy to find. Look me up in the Epstein files. My name's Bubba. They used to call me that. They named the horse after me for obvious reasons. G-Max used to call me Bubba. It was just a thing back then, you know. They thought it was funny because of my accent, you know. Just how it goes. This is a war crime, sure. I should wear a shirt that says "This is a war crime" because I'm so fucking devastatingly handsome.
There are serious security concerns raised by the unusual roles that these people have assumed. And what can you do? Apparently some adult men need their babysitters.
Yeah, it was gay. Donald Trump blew me. I mean, it was totally gay. But, you know, I was young. I was only 14 years old. I needed the money. And Donald Trump's and friends, Epstein and G-Max, they offered me lots of money to let Donald Trump suck my cock. So, you know, I was young, impressionable. I didn't know what I was doing, but I knew I needed money. So that's America for you. You got to do what it takes. I'm not one of those guys that's going to sit on my ass and just hope that the government's going to save me. I take the bull by the horns, the rose by the thorns, the lightning in a bottle. I catch it, baby. I try to strike while the iron's hot. And you know what? When someone comes and offers me a bunch of money to get blown by a couple billionaires, I just, you know what? As long as I'm not doing the sucking, it's not gay, right?
That. And in this case, those men just happen to be the commander-in-chief and his secretary of defense.
Oh, dear, man, I used to know this, barber, and it was my barber, and she was saying that so many guys, because we had a great rapport, we were talking all the time, and she said, "Oh, I'm always happy when you come because, you know, we actually talk." And I said, "What do you mean? You don't talk to your clients?" And she goes, "No, most people, they're either on their phone or they bring their girlfriends." What? What do you mean they bring their girlfriends to the barber shop? It's like, it's all decked out like all manly shit too. They have like a pool table. This is a nice place. They had a pool table. They give you a whiskey and they cut your hair. It's pretty cool. But a lot of guys, she said, bring their girlfriends and they want that cosign. And they want some woman to be like, "Yeah, honey, it looks good. No, shorter. No." They'll like they'll curate the experience for their boy. For their baby boy, and the barber's sitting there trying to do her job, and she's like, "Do you like it, sir?" And the woman, the girlfriend, wife, or whatever, will stand up and be like, "No, a little bit more right here, a little bit, just a touch." And I thought that was so bizarre. Is that what America is now? Just a bunch of cucks? Just a bunch of like weird little simps? Yeah, America's a bunch of simps now. That's it. America. You're a bunch of simps. People like Illuminator.
Apparently, girls just want to have nothing to do with the guys. A shocking poll done in the UK reveals how Gen Z ladies really feel about men, and it's not pretty. 21% of gals under 30 reported a negative view of the opposite gender.
Oops.
That's 3 times the share of young lads who feel the same way. Guys have a pretty...
But don't women always talk shit on men? Hasn't that always? I mean, my whole life I've heard about how men are dogs and blah, blah, blah. Dick's still popular, though. I don't know. My whole life, I've heard about how women hate men. And yet my whole life, women have been very keen. So I don't know. I don't know. Maybe I'm the only lucky one. Do people don't like you? Women love me. They like hanging out with me. I don't know why they don't like hanging out with you. It's kind of sad. Good to see you too, Harmon Sarwar. Jack hair. You don't like my hairline? I like my hairline. What's wrong with my hairline? This is what men look like, Illuminator. Have you seen one before? No.
Positive view of women. What do you chalk this up to?
Sex and wanting to have it. I think that.
So the guys are like, girls are pretty. I want you to touch them. And girls are like, oh, that's so disgusting. Get away from me.
Kennedy. Wow. What a anthropologist you are, Kennedy.
Or like, I don't need it that much. I can do it sporadically. I could do it with another woman if you wanted. I just think men are, young men are focused on that. Is this a bad take? I think it's
I hear that a lot of young women, Jesse, you're the only one at the table who has a boy. So
I love how everybody on Fox News, you bring up sex and like, how long will it take for Greg Gutfeld to bring up Sydney Sweeney?
Look at this, and I think maybe we've demonized boys way too much over the last 20 years, and it has seeped in and been too effective.
What did the left say? You don't need no man, right?
Is that what the left said? We don't need no man. I don't know what you think about. Men have always been demonized because men have always been assholes. Like, what are you talking about? Men have done really horrible shit throughout history. I'm sure that in the caveman days, when courtship was basically thumping a woman over the head and dragging her to your cave and being strong enough to hold her down, even then, I'm sure the women were like, these boys, we hate them. Probably since the dawn of time, women have been kind of like, fuck these guys. And yet still, dick remains popular. I don't get it. I don't understand women, but I love them. I love you, women. I love you. I love you, ladies.
And they snapped when they did it. They said, you just go work, you have a career, and that's it. You don't need a husband. That's how they said it. And then you know what women turned into? Sex objects or worker bees, right?
No. No. Sex object or worker bees? No, not at all, you fucking weirdo. Who is Jesse Waters? Jesse Waters, you could tell he's gay because he says the weirdest shit about men and women. Do you remember when he was screaming at Leonardo DiCaprio about shaving? He wanted Leonardo DiCaprio to shave his armpits. So weird, dude. This guy's so weird. And he's had his back blown out so many times. He's got a really bad back.
They don't want to feel that way. Deep down in their loins, they want a husband, they want children, and they want a family. So I have advice for women.
Oh, okay.
Get off dating apps, all right? You got to be at the mercy of...
Well, I mean, dating apps or not dating apps. I know some guys, they meet their wives on dating apps. Some people, they're happily ever after on dating apps. It's not so bad, right? I'm on one dating app now. Did I tell you? I'm on one, but I'm not going to tell you which.
Fate, go outside. You're not going to find a husband inside.
I'll tell you which.
Jessica and I both found our husbands in elevators.
Exactly. Work.
Get in the elevator.
Work is a great place to find a spouse.
Don't say that at Fox News. Work is a great place to commit sexual harassment. Welcome to Fox News, ladies. I don't know. I mean, my last girlfriend I met at work, and we were together for 7 years. So, But, it's, I guess, getting out there. You just need to get out. If work is the reason why you leave the house, great. You need to get out. You need to move around. I went to an open mic last night, and a woman talked to me. She came up and talked to me. Women are always coming up and talking to me. I don't know what are you guys doing? Are you, like, all creepy and weird? What the fuck are you guys doing that girls don't talk to you? Girls talk to me all the time. Like, I don't consider myself the most handsome man, although I think I'm pretty devastatingly dashing. But women talk to me all the time. Why is it so hard for you guys to meet girls?
And go to the gym, go to a bar. You're probably smoking too much dope. They call it dope.
Yeah. No, they don't.
Tell him, O'Reilly.
Drink more.
All right, let's get out of the no spin zone. Are you a sex?
Yeah, they're comparing him now to Bill O'Reilly. Perfect. He is basically the Bill O'Reilly now.
Sex object or a worker bee? I'm certainly not Gen Z. And what you asked Jessica, what do you put it down to? I think it is a TikTok thing. I think that the girls are
It's
obviously on TikTok a lot, and then like if you see
fault.
once, like maybe had a bad breakup, right? And then the algorithm feeds it to you over and over again, and I think China has a lot to do with it. And over time,
China.
I think the guys
China is why women hate men in America.
are not on TikTok, and then you realize where some of this radicalization comes from. And also, this is in the UK. I don't think this is true necessarily here because every young woman that comes to me for mentoring, the last question they ask me is how can they meet somebody? They don't. They want to have it all.
It all. Yeah, they want the career and the
They
man.
want to be sexy worker bees, Greg.
I have 3 points to make. One, this is all BS.
Don't men want to have it all? Yeah, we all want to have it all. You want to have money. You want to have a place in the sun. You want to have a chance to give your kids a better life. You want a girl that's proud to say she'll be your loving wife. You want all those things. And that's the same thing a woman wants. She wants her place in the sun. She wants a good place for her kids to grow up so they can have a better life than she did. She wants to provide a better life for her kids. And she wants a guy that is proud of being with her. That's it. It's not fucking hard calculus, This is basically, algebra 1, maybe. Like just algebra 1, like x plus 1 equals 5. What does x equal? It's not that hard. This ain't difficult, guys. For real. What most guys need is a personality. If you can make most women laugh, you can make them love you. I'm a woman and I approach every single boyfriend I've ever had, current husband included. Bruh, like I'm telling you, bruh, women talk to me every time I go out. Sometimes a man will talk to me about a woman, like a couple will approach me. And it'll be sometimes it'll be a guy and his girlfriend, or sometimes it's a brother and sister. People approach me when I go out. I don't know. And I feel like I'm tall and I'm weird. So I don't know. I don't know why people approach me. Why don't they approach you is the question. They approach me. Like literally every time. Maybe I think yesterday I went to the open mic. The woman was sitting at the bar, and it was a coffee bar. There was no alcohol. And she was sitting at the furthest back seat, and the only seat open was in front of her. And I was like, hey, I want to sit in front of you, but I don't want to block your view. I'm kind of tall. And she's like, it's okay. And so I sat, she's super friendly. It's okay. And I sat in front of her, and then she left. Eventually, I turned around, she was gone. And she was gone for a while, and her shit was bust. So I thought she wasn't coming back, so I stole her seat. And then she came back, and I said, oh, I'm sorry, I forgot. I didn't think you were coming back. And she says, we traded. It's okay. You know what? It's okay to trade sometimes. And she sat down in front of me, and it was like, and then we ended up talking about music and shit. It was perfectly wholesome. I didn't see no wedding finger, no wedding ring, but, strike up conversations, dudes. Like, be normal. What the hell? Jack, it's because you look like you're fun. You look like you're a lot of fun. Open up your loving arms. Watch out. You look like a lot of fun. Maybe I should do a talk. Maybe I should change this channel to being like how to talk to girls at parties. It ain't that tough. You talk to them like, human beings.
Preference, falsification. This is what they're supposed to say according to the narrative, the cultural narrative they've been fed. These days, men really suck. But not my guy, my husband, my boyfriend, he's great. And my dad, he's awesome. And so are my brothers, they're pretty great too. So all the evidence that she has around her speaks to the goodness of men, but you have to ignore that to validate a position to keep you from standing out amongst the mob.
That's so stupid. Greg Gutfield's a moron. Anybody who's ever been around women, they talk shit on the men in their lives. Anyone who's been around men, they talk shit on the women on their lives. I've always hated that about it. I never do that. I never really talk shit on my girlfriends until maybe later after we broke up. But during the relationship, nah, man, I don't fucking talk about my girl. Nah. Not even maybe with my best friend, I might complain or something. But man, I used to work, in bars and in resorts and golf courses and shit. And these guys would come and they'd say the worst stuff about women that they would go home and say, I love you to. And you'd think that was just a male thing. But the women are doing the same shit, man. They say the worst things about the people that they say they love. Crazy Jackdaw in the house. Thank you, crazy jackdaw. You're such a crazy, wonderful human being. Love you, baby doll. Love you, honey pie. Them boys are bitch. Can I get some jubilation for crazy jackdaw, please? Some jubilation. Let's watch some Greg Gutfeld real quick.
But there could be one reason that they're running into predatory pretenders. That means the user, the male user, masquerading as the sensitive soul to embed themselves within your trust. People, we've seen this. Bill Clinton, Swalwell, Plattner. I care about the world. If I say that enough, she won't detect that I'm a pig until it's too late. I also noticed a new guy.
It's so funny. You say all those things like Donald Trump fucked Stormy Daniels while his wife was at home with his infant child. Newt Gingrich had an affair while his wife was dying of cancer. These guys, it's always all these politicians, all these philandering assholes don't love politicians.
A lot. Who treats women badly, but does it from the position of neuroticism and mental angst. I think you know what I call it the Mark Maron model. It's not you when they dump you. They say, I'm actually a wreck. I'm dealing with so much right now. I think we had a really good 3 months. I'm really glad you slept with me. But, my anxiety and my trust issues, my family history, and Trump's in office. I mean, I'm just being an awful boyfriend. So you're really great, but I'm not really my true self. So maybe we can just be friends.
Mm-hmm. What the hell is this guy? This is like the...
Coming up.
This is the story that Greg Gutfeld tells himself. This is why women hate. So according to Fox News, it's China, TikTok, and Graham Plattner who are causing women to say bad things about men. But here's a little pop quiz for you, hot shot. Here's a hard fact that you might not like. I heard your mama was a Frisco dyke. No, women have been talking shit about men forever. And men have been talking shit about women forever. Because it's hard. It's difficult. It's difficult getting along with women sometimes. Especially when you give them the keys to your heart and you give them the ability to hurt you. I have that experience with women. Women have that experience with men. Women say, oh, every time I do this, I get hurt by the same men. And then men say the same thing about women. Every time I do this, I get hurt by the same kind of woman. It's the same. Men are not from Mars. Women are not from Venus. They're both from planet Earth. Start treating each other like human beings, you stupid assholes. God damn it.
All right, 1 week to go, well, 1 week as of Tuesday, until the South Carolina Republican state primary runoff. The race is heating up. It's getting a little awkward. In a debate last night between the Congressman Ralph Norman of South Carolina and Senator...
Wait, what the hell? The other Pentecostal, you stupid fuck, why don't you do your research? Why do we have to educate your dumb ass? Everybody watch Discovery, the DSA platform. That's who this bitch endorses. What are you talking about, you weird asshole? What is this weird guy on about? The other Pentecostal guy. It's the other Pentecostal, not the snake handling, talking in tongues talkers.
Arlene Graham, who's running to keep the seat to which she was appointed after the death of her brother, Lindsey Graham. The candidates were asked about foreign policy, specifically U.S. interests in Taiwan. What she said was something else.
Senator, are Taiwan and the South China Sea national security issues for the United States? If so, why?
I'm sorry, could you repeat the question?
Are Taiwan and the...
It's so funny. I'm feminized. We literally just saw how Donald Trump has to have a little lady security blanket everywhere he goes, like a child. And Pete Hegseth that has to have his mommy wife in every meeting he goes into, especially the higher stakes ones, because he can't do it alone. I'm feminized? What the fuck are you talking about? I've got so much testosterone. I have that masculine urge to save the world. I have that masculine urge to make the world a better place. I have the masculine urge to protect the innocent. You cuck, simp, bootlicking turncoats, hall monitor assholes, you little Pomeranians sitting at the table of the rich begging for crumbs, have the nerve to say anybody is what are you talking about? I'm out here saying punch Nazis in the face and you're calling me feminized? I don't know what you mean, but as far as I know, most women and their femininity pretty powerful. So I don't mind. I don't understand why you think that's a pejorative, but if anything, these simps that we have in office where they need their mommy, they need their pacifier and their security blanket everywhere they go. They're embarrassing. You're pathetic. You're pathetic. All of you MAGers are so pathetic. You need Daddy Trump to tell you how to live your life. You need Daddy Trump to tell you what kind of socks to put on in the morning, little Pookie. You need Daddy Trump to tell you what's what and how to let everybody's bad but you. It's all those brown and black people. You didn't do nothing wrong, little baby boy. No, you didn't do anything wrong. It's all those black and brown people. Oh, Jesus Christ. All I hear are you fucking crybaby pieces of garbage. All you crybaby magtards, and you sit there and you project because you think that this manosphere is real. It's bullshit. It's a product that they're selling you. What happened to the masculine urge to, I don't know, read, create, write, make stuff, build things? No, you guys can't build shit. All you can do is tear things down. That's all you can do. Like a bunch of toddlers, like a bunch of little douchey kids at the beach who tip over littler kids' sandcastles because you can't build the sandcastle by yourself because you are a fucking moron. You don't have a creative bone in your body. You have nothing. You're nothing. You magger losers. You can't create anything. The only thing that you can come up with is going to work and doing what you're told, like a little bitch all day long, like a little slave. You want to go slave away. And then anybody else who's trying not to slave away, you're like, you're lazy. No, they're not lazy, asshole. They've seen the game. They're sick of slaving. They're sick of it. They're sick of doing what they're told. They're sick of keeping their head down. They're sick of putting their nose to the grindstone. They're sick of it. They're sick of making other people rich, especially when those other people who are rich are buying and selling their children. People like Donald Trump and Jeffrey Epstein buying and selling their children. You're pathetic. You pray and worship. You pray to and worship all of these rich people who don't know you and wouldn't piss down your throat if your heart was on fire because it would take too much effort. They hate you.
South China Sea national security issues for the United States, and if so, why or how?
I'm just going to be honest here. I'm not on national security. I'm not that informed on national security, but I do support the military. My brother was in the Air Force for 33 years, so I will do everything I can to support the military.
This is, Lindsey Graham's replacement. She's a senator now.
My dad was in the Army. I'm not a polished politician up here. National security is not my thing, not my area of expertise, but I do support the military.
National security just ain't my thing, but I do love the military. I love it when they bomb all those Iranian children. I just think that that's just the bee's knees, just like my brother did, Lindsey Graham. He loved it when those boys got all polished up and polished every little button on their shirts, and then they went and killed all those Iranian school children. That just took his breath away. Remember when they released that video of my brother and he was laughing? He was laughing to tarnation about all those dead kids in Iran. I'm just like my brother.
Earlier today, the Newsmax host, Greta Van Susteren, who asked the question and who moderated the debate, offered this explanation for Graham's fumble.
I wish I hadn't asked that question. I don't know that it was fair to ask when our own government going back 47 years can't figure it out. So how could I expect Senator Darling Graham or Congressman Norman to answer it and answer in 1 minute?
Maryland Senator Chris Van Hollen sits on the Senate Foreign Relations Committee. He joins me now. Senator, I work with Greta. I like Greta. I think she's wrong in saying that she shouldn't have asked the question. It's not actually a complicated question. You don't have to have your degree of expertise or Lindsey Graham's degree of expertise on China and Taiwan to understand that that's actually a major foreign policy issue for the United States.
Yeah, Ali, I think it was a perfectly fair question for both of the candidates. I'm going to leave it to the voters, the Republican voters in South Carolina, to decide what to make of it. I can say that the Democrats have a terrific Senate candidate, Dr. Annie Andrews. She's a pediatrician. She's been horrified at RFK's attack on the public health. So we'll let the voters decide this. I will say on the national security front, I was especially, though, worried about Darlene Graham's answer to the question on Iran, which everybody does know about right now, where she doubled down on the president's position, said she trusted the president.
I don't go live in socialistic countries. This is a socialistic country, you imbecile. This is a socialistic country. The big argument right now is whether or not we should bail out human beings who are hard on their luck or bail out corporations who are making record profits. That's the big discussion right now, you imbecile. You lepton. Take two brain cells and try to stick them together just for a second. We are a socialistic country. We collect taxes and then we do what's best for the people with them. But unfortunately, we keep on electing octogenarian pedophiles, and what ends up happening in this chomocracy of ours is that they end up making their goddamn best friends rich because of crony capitalism taking the lead. Jesus, take the reins. This isn't. You think that America's purely capitalist? Are you fucking stupid? Are you stupid? We bailed out every single corporation nearly during COVID. That money that should have gone to you and me when we were down on our luck went to businesses. And then the Doge checks that went to businesses too. They broke federal institutions and then gave the reins to private institutions because government's inefficient all of a sudden because we fired everybody. Interesting. Oh, what about you guys are just so dumb. It's unfathomable. The depths of your stupidity. The depths. You're just sitting in a dark room, obtuse, staring at a wall. Just staring at a wall, not knowing what you're in Plato's cave, and you think that the shadows on the wall are real life. You're such fools. You maggers. God damn it. The tariff checks, turns out I was right about that too. The tariff checks, they didn't give you tariff checks. They gave tariff checks back to the businesses again, to the corporations. The corporations made a huge payday, huge cash grab, giant. One of the biggest transfers of wealth from poor to rich in the history of America. And you're like, dang, we're capitalists. No, man. That's your tax money, dumb shit. They're stealing from you.
Even though we all know it's been a disaster for the country. But of course, that doesn't distinguish her from her competitor in the South Carolina Republican primary or any other Republican. They're all in with Donald Trump on this failed, disastrous war in Iran.
Or her late brother. Donald Trump, by the way.
That dead fag of Mr. Lindsey Graham. Yeah. Tough guy, Lindsey Graham.
Tonight did double down on the Iran situation. Obviously, the memorandum of understanding was supposed to have concluded on Monday, and in theory, we were supposed to be in a peace arrangement with Iran. That hasn't happened. Donald Trump is now declaring a so-called economic D-Day against Iran, writing tonight on social media, quote, "I'm announcing the most crushing economic operation ever taken against any country." He added that there will be, quote, "economic warfare and threaten tremendous economic consequences against any country that helps Iran." Here's the thing.
Oh, funny how they always do that. We always do that, don't we? Anybody who does business with this country, we're not your friends anymore. If you do business with them, we are not your friend. You can't buy any oil from Iran. Why not? Why not? Why is America always like that guy who has an ex-girlfriend? He's like, no one's allowed to date my ex-girlfriend. Why? If you're done with her and we want to get in there, what's the problem? No one could date her but me. And if she won't date me, she can't date anybody.
Senator, in a normal world, when the President of the United States would post something of that nature, our newsrooms would be all aflutter and we'd be trying to figure it out and parse it and get comments from people. But it just sounds like more Trump bluster now. It doesn't seem to mean anything.
No, it means the war's going to be over in 2 weeks. 2 weeks! It's going to be over in 2 weeks. And in 24 hours, the war in Ukraine will be over. 24 hours, it's almost over. It's almost over. They're bombing Moscow now. Fucking idiot. They're bombing Moscow now. Kim Jong-un is launching missiles. We are closer to nuclear war than we've been to in my lifetime. And Donald Trump's like, they've got nukes over in Iran.
Well, that's true, Ali. And, someone should inform President Trump that Iran is already the most sanctioned country in the world by far by the United States. And we do have what are called secondary sanctions on Iran, where we already sanction countries that do business with Iran. So this is just an example of how Donald Trump's strategy has been completely bankrupt from the start. And this war
bankrupt. I mean, Donald Trump's been bankrupt his whole life. Successful businessman, though.
Continues to cost Americans, both in terms of lives lost and higher prices. And this is from the president who said he would keep us out of wars. It's also, of course, extracted huge costs on civilians and others in the region.
He started that post, by the way, by saying, no one has given the Islamic Republic of Iran a greater opportunity to make a deal than me. Correct me if I'm wrong, Senator. Someone gave them a better opportunity than he did back in 2015, and they took the opportunity, and they signed the deal. And the deal worked until 2018, until this president ripped it up.
Donald Trump ripped up the deal.
That's exactly what happened.
You can't expect America to live by the contracts that we sign. Ask the goddamn Native Americans. You can't trust anything. The contract, that's for you to follow, asshole. The government's not going to follow that. The Constitution, that's for you to follow, not them. They don't care about the Constitution. They don't care about the contracts they sign. They laugh when they sign it. They laugh. Oh, yeah, yeah, sovereignty. The Native Americans have sovereignty on these reservations we're giving them. Wink, wink, nudge, nudge. Oh, yeah, yeah, guaranteed access to water. And they go and they smoke cigars. Right now, literally, just a few days ago, I forget which tribe, their sovereign land has been encroached upon against their consent because they want to build the border wall through Indian land. That's their fucking land. Not anymore, says the Supreme Court. Not anymore, says Donald Trump. That's my land now. What? What do you mean? This is Indian land. Not anymore. We're building the border wall there. Perfectly reasonable thing to do, of course.
President Trump sounding off on the progress made against Iran while also warning about the threat Tehran's nuclear program posed to the world.
I think we're doing very well. We are letting people know about that. We're letting people know that, you know, it's wonderful to say everything's good, but you can't. If you had a country like that, and they're crazy, if you had a country like that, they would absolutely use the nuclear weapon without question. And so
Dreddy, I've been complaining about Joe Biden since I was 9 years old, so you can take your head and stick it all the way up your own fucking ass, you piece of garbage. You don't hear any of you guys complaining about Biden, though. Of course I complain about Biden. That's the job of an American, is to complain about the leader, to question authority. If you can't do that, you're not American, Dreddy Not. If you are sitting here worshiping a politician and crying because somebody's saying something mean about your favorite politician, you're nothing. You're just a Swiftie. You're just a fucking fangirl. That's all you are, is one of those girls that loved New Kids on the Block or Backstreet Boys. That's what you are. You're not some genius fucking poli-sci major or something. You've never read a book. You've never read a pamphlet. You've never done any of your own research. You've done nothing. You don't have a degree. You're just a piece of shit who loves his favorite politician like Taylor Swift. You're like one of those little girls that if anybody says something bad about Beyonce, them's fighting words. That's where most Trumpsters are. They're fangirls. That's it. Nothing more, nothing less, just fangirls. I'm sorry. I didn't realize that we were a country of fangirls. You're embarrassing. You're an embarrassment.
Stop that. And I stopped it cold with the B-2 bombers.
Joining me now to discuss this is former NSC Chief of Staff under President Trump, Alex Gray. Alex, great to see you this morning. You know, we're calling this economic D-Day on Iran, isolating them, putting them in the corner, ramping up the economic pressure and sanctions to an extent they've never experienced before. But let's be honest, Alex, sanctions against Iran are nothing new. So should we be confident that they're going to work this time? Is there something different about this round of sanctions that we're talking about?
Well, Lydia, I think the biggest difference between now and a couple months ago is that President Trump has shown, contrary to Iran's expectation, contrary to media expectation, that he's not going to give in. He is not going to walk away, even if it's politically inconvenient in the United States. And people
he's chickening out every time.
Because Iran's an authoritarian dictatorship, because they can absorb a lot of pain, that doesn't change the fact that the U.S. blockade is working. It is doing exactly what it was intended to do. It is putting enormous pressure on Iran's economy. And their out has always been the assumption, propagated by many in the U.S., that President Trump would just cut and run as he got closer to November. And he has absolutely refused to do that. And so I think, Lydia, what we're going to see is President Trump may hate conflict. He may be a person, I think, who genuinely values peace. But the one thing he values even more than that is U.S. interests. And he is not going to allow Iran to try and run out the clock on us for the very reasons he mentioned in the clip you just showed.
I think you're absolutely right. You pointed out a number of great points there, Adam, and among them is that Iran's economy is absolutely in shambles. Inflation is skyrocketing. You have to wonder
how's ours doing?
Their economy can take this. Another point raised is by Treasury Secretary Scott Bessent. You know, he pointed out yesterday that this is also going to address other countries and businesses that are continuing to support Iran. They are now being put on notice. Let's listen to Scott Bessent. We'll talk about it on the other side.
This is going to be the It's the world, and we're going to them and saying you're either with us or against us. You want this murderous regime to end. This will work. It worked in Venezuela once we put up the blockade. It is working.
Murderous regime. I mean, Donald Trump is a murderous regime. Tell that to Renee Good and Alex Preddy. Murderous regime. Tell that to the 50 fucking people who have lost their lives in ICE custody. Murderous regime. Donald Trump is a murderous regime.
In Cuba right now, and it is going to work in Iran, and we are going to collapse this regime.
So he's talking about a coordinated economic pressure, also going after countries that are doing business with Iran, like China. What could that mean for holding China to account here?
China. Fox News just said China is the ones to blame for why girls don't like boys anymore.
Alex.
Yeah, Lydia, look, well, Scott Bessent's the best Treasury Secretary since Alexander Hamilton.
He's the best since Alexander fucking Hamilton? The best since the first guy. What? He's the best Secretary of Treasury since Alexander Hamilton. Oh, man. That rap song that he does in that Act 3 is so great.
Incredibly good at this, and he's right. Contrary, again, to the media narrative, this year has been a huge...
Didn't somebody murder Alexander Hamilton? Aaron Burr.
Huge economic setback for regimes like Russia and China, who have seen the U.S. cut off access to Venezuelan oil, have seen the United States crack down on sanctioned oil from other places, from Iran, who have seen all sorts of actual impact from President Trump's economic activities. And so what I think we're going to see here, Lydia, is the President and Secretary Bessent are very aware that China's economy is not strong. Russia's...
Hit that like button, everybody. Hit that like button. Hit the subscribe button. My name is Skyjack Morgan. I'm an independent news and culture commentator, free speech and critical thinking advocate, and this is the #1 news reaction show in YouTube history, The Morning Sky Show. Thank you so much for being here.
Economy is a basket case. Doing what we did in Venezuela, where we are restricting access to outside flows of cheap oil, is going to have a very real impact. The Chinese know how fragile their economy and their regime actually are, and they do not want to get into a situation where President...
I just looked that up. It was $3.12, I think, when Biden left office, the price of a gallon of gasoline, the national average, and right now it's at 4 something. Like, what the hell? Donald Trump said it was going to be 2 something by the end of the first 12 months. Durr!
Trump has additional leverage over them going into these discussions that he's having with Xi Jinping in September. So I think the Chinese are going to be very sensitive to what happens coming out of Iran and coming out of Scott Bessent and President Trump's economic warfare.
I think you're right. We're already seeing some of those chips fall into place. The UAE, as you know, just this week said they're going to end trade with Iran. Hugely detrimental to Iran there. So we're going to follow that, Alex. Thank you very much, Alex.
Bigly detrimental. Bigly gentleman.
Michael Cohen, Donald Trump's
it's tough. Michael Cohen's here. Oh, I said Ralph Cohen earlier. Damn it. It's Michael
one-time
Cohen.
lawyer and fixer whose testimony helped make his old boss a convicted felon is now doing all he can to win back the president. This evening, he released a portion of a radio interview he did, kissing up over and over again with the guy he not too long ago called a racist and a con man. Cohen was the only person to serve prison time in connection with the president's multiple felonies. In 2018, he pleaded guilty to 8 criminal counts implicating the president in a payment scheme to silence women who claimed to have had affairs with Trump ahead of the 2016 election. Cohen did more than a year in federal prison, wrote 2 books about it, titled Disloyal and Revenge. Revenge's subtitle, by the way, is how Donald Trump weaponized the U.S. Department of Justice against his critics. And the irony of that will become apparent shortly. In 2024, Cohen became a star witness against the president, who would go on to be convicted of 34 New York State felony counts of falsifying business records related to hush money payments to adult film star Stormy Daniels. The president denied the affair. The conviction's under appeal. And you would imagine that the rift between former client and former fixer would be unfixable, especially given all they said about one another.
He's a weak person, and by being weak, unlike other people that you watch, he's a weak person.
I know what Mr. Trump is.
He's a weak person.
He is a racist. He is a con man, and he is a cheat. Mr. Trump called me a rat for choosing to tell the truth, much like a mobster would do when one of his men decides to cooperate with the government.
But that's exactly right. Yeah, you're a rat. I mean, you are a rat. You helped him commit crimes, and then you ratted. That's what a rat is. You're an FBI informant now. Yeah, that's a rat. Just like Donald Trump, he helped Epstein commit his crimes and then became an FBI informant. Fucking, according to Michael Johnson, the Speaker of the House.
Oh, he's a sleazebag. Everybody knows that.
Well, once a sleazebag, apparently not always a sleazebag. Our first inkling of the reconciliation came in January when Cohen went on his Substack claiming that he, quote, felt pressured and coerced, unquote, by New York's Attorney General Letitia James and Manhattan DA Alvin Bragg to testify against the president. Then today, Cohen, who's now a New York radio talk show host, posted this teaser for the conversation he recently recorded with his old boss and now it seems his former nemesis. Quoting his post, after years of betrayal, heartbreak, fury, and silence, 2 men who once stood together against the world face the impossible question, can forgiveness resurrect what hatred destroyed?
What in the hell is going on here? Michael Cohen is trying to suck ass to Donald Trump. How embarrassing. How do these people look themselves in the mirror? How do they look themselves in the mirror?
We'll plug the taped interview again.
How do these guys shave their faces?
On the lead was CNN Chick Tapper and followed up with this in the on-air run-up to his 6 p.m. broadcast on WABC Radio.
The president and I, over the course of the past 1 year, have seen each other 3 times. And during those meetings, they were emotional. They were familiar. Again, it's very tough to describe the feeling. We had a friendship for 15 years.
Very close friendship.
That was rocked by politics, by the weaponization of the Department of Justice. And interestingly enough, that's part of the conversation, that there may be no 2 people on this planet that have had the Justice Department weaponized against them more than Trump and I. There has not been 2 people maybe that have been put against one another. Maybe, I don't know, since Andrew Jackson and Burr. I mean, the only difference is, there was no hot lead in this one. There was only incarceration.
No one got shot this time. Just a bunch of little girls got killed.
Well, just as a point of fact, it was Alexander Hamilton, not Andrew Jackson, who traded hot lead with Aaron Burr, but potato. Cohen was on a roll, and his point seems to be that he and the president have found common ground in their perceived shared victimhood, a theme the interview began with.
How you doing, sir? Welcome.
Good.
Welcome.
Very good. Country's doing good.
Well, thanks to you, sir. So I want to go back to 2016 if we can, because you and I have obviously traveled a pretty rocky road together. Do you remember, sir, when I went on CNN?
Do you remember, sir? Do you remember?
And with Breonna Keeler, and she told me that you were under.
This is what Hitler. This is anybody who said anything bad about Hitler because they thought Hitler was down and out during his time in prison. They all begged him for forgiveness when he got out.
Water in the polls, and I responded with those famous 2 words, "says who," which became some worldwide meme. And
advocate, and then they weaponized you like nobody's ever been weaponized, like few have been.
Well, maybe just you and I, sir.
And yeah, me too. But I don't consider mine. Mine was at a level that nobody's ever seen before. But they weaponized you. They weaponized a lot of people, and I respect the fact that you recanted everything you said, and that's a big thing that you did.
So there it is. The man who wrote a book subtitled How Donald Trump Weaponized the U.S. Department of Justice Against His Critics now claims to believe that Donald Trump is actually just another victim, just like him. And
just
he's
a
back
good
to calling
guy.
him boss. And if you're picking up on just a hint of lips brushing backsides, then listen to this.
The construction jobs in this country are through the roof, and that's because of all the plants and factories being built all over our country. It's a renaissance. There's never been anything like it.
So maybe what we should do is then have a press conference and literally put out all of the accomplishments, because what's happening.
Yeah.
Boss, you remember when I was by your side?
Boss, remember when I was by your side, boss? Remember when we were young and in love, boss? Remember the way we were, boss?
Boss. The conversation ended with the teaser for more to come over the weekend, and Cohen playing a clip of Peaches and Herb singing Reunited, and it feels so good.
What the fuck? Remember, boss? Don't you remember, boss, the good days? Hey, Tony, don't you remember the good days when I was a real good earner for ya? Think of all the bodies I buried for you, boss. Hey, what have you done for me lately, hey? What have you done for me lately? You ain't done shit. You ain't the earner you used to be. You ain't got the muscle you used to have. You ain't shit these days. Yeah, but boss, can't you remember when I was by your side, boss? Oh, boss, give me a break, boss. I'll take Mario and the gang downtown, and we'll crack skulls for you like the good old days, Mr. President. Holy shit, bro. Snagglepuss. Exit stage left. All right, that's enough of Anderson Cooper. How disgusting.
Well, Hakeem's hooker problem just got a lot worse. His district crawling with prostitutes, and so many Johns it's causing.
It's New Jersey. We got a lot of hooahs in New Jersey.
Jam. So we sent our own Johnny, to investigate. Viewer warning.
I am. It's right here. I'm doing it right now, bruh. I'm an impressionist trying to do... That's what I'm doing right now.
Over 2,000
Like and subscribe. Drop a penny in the pot. Give me a super chat. I'm trying that. I'm doing it right now.
felonies in 8 months, murders, rapes, robbery, assault. Welcome to East New York, the district represented by leader Hakeem Jeffries.
What's going on in this neighborhood?
Crime is getting out of hand. Stabbings and shootings every other night. Robbing, they killing people.
People dying, little kids got...
You realize that Hakeem Jeffries doesn't handle crime in New Jersey, right? Hakeem Jeffries is a congressman. Hakeem Jeffries represents all these people in Congress in Washington, D.C. He doesn't even work in New Jersey. He works in Washington, D.C. Congress people really don't have fuck all to do with local crime. Literally nothing to do with local crime.
Ran over. You got people that fight over parking.
People pull out guns for parking?
You have road rage.
What is the most dangerous thing to have happened in this neighborhood?
I would have to say murder, right? You can get killed any day, any time of the day.
You could walk and they slit your throat just for walking around with a phone. I even lost my husband. Somebody killed him.
Is East New York a safe place?
I lost my husband. Somebody killed him.
Not safe. I'm gonna be real. Like, I'm scared.
It's dangerous. After a certain time, I don't even come outside. You have to have a good body built mindset to live there.
There's been 700 assaults in 8 months.
Don't forget to buy Melania coin. It's the most important financial tool for the future prosperity of America. If you don't own Melania coin, do you really support Donald Trump? No. If you don't own Melania coin, you are not a Trump supporter. You're just a rhino. You're just a rhino.
Yeah, and it's gonna get higher.
Oh,
this is
there's
just one area of
trash.
Penn Track. We're at night.
Why isn't Hakeem Jeffries picking up the trash?
The traffic here is more insane than Midtown Manhattan, and prostitution is running wild. On this block, you can't walk 3 steps without seeing another used condom. You see a lot of prostitution?
Prostitution is the biggest thing here.
I mean, at least they're practicing safe sex. I mean, used condoms. It's better than, people dying of communicable diseases, right?
They'll be out there in the snow with stockings on and a short jacket, bra, and underwear, just fully exposed, selling it.
Early morning, you'll see prostitutes. It's regular.
Yeah, the governor, the mayor, the police chief, and the sheriff too. They're all really stoked that it's all Hakeem Jeffries' fault somehow, whose job literally is not having anything to do with local crime. Nothing. Hakeem Jeffries has a hooker problem.
This is Hakeem Jeffries' district. Is he doing a good job?
I don't know what that is, bro.
Not really. No.
Who's Hakeem Jeffries?
Sorry. Hakeem is doing an excellent job. Yes.
What is he doing that's so great?
What is the greatest thing that he has done? What is the greatest thing? Well, I'm not going to single him out.
Hakeem has been your congressman for over 50.
Can you say that about any congressman? Can you think of any piece of legislation your congressperson has written? A congressperson's job is to represent your will in DC. They're literally the only people who represent you. Them, technically the senators, but don't get me started with the senators. Congress is all you have. It's all you have. They're it. They're all you have in Washington, D.C. The president doesn't give a shit about you. The senators don't really give a shit about you. Nobody gives a shit about you except the congressperson. They're supposed to. They end up caring more about their party than about you. But still, their job is to represent you and not their party.
15 years. Has he cleaned up the hood?
I don't see a difference.
The cleaning up that's being done,
His job is not to clean up the hood.
I don't necessarily feel it's for the people.
But, he's a big shot in D.C., a leader of the Democrats in the House. You gotta be proud.
Exactly, DC, fuckface. His job is in Washington. It's funny. I hate fucking Hakeem Jeffries. I'm sitting here defending him because this idiocy over at Fox News. It's just completely misleading. It's horribly misleading. This is why Americans have no media literacy, is because of this type of shit right here.
No, I don't.
What are you doing out there? Supposed to be in New York.
No, I don't feel proud about that. I am, and he sends me a birthday card every year, Valentine's.
That Hakeem's getting a little frisky. He sent you a Valentine's Day card? Now he's getting pushed around by commies in the House. Do you like communism?
Listen, I don't like none of that. I don't like communism either.
Why don't you like communism? It's the cool thing now.
It's not that cool.
What's that, Russia? Communism? Like, no. Aren't we Democrats?
Speak for yourself.
So what are you?
I'm in danger.
People say Hakeem's in the streets. Have you seen him?
I haven't seen him. No, I haven't. Have I seen him?
He's a white supremacist. That's what he is.
No, I haven't.
He comes out here, he speaks with us.
When was the last time you spoke to Hakeem?
I haven't spoken to Hakeem.
Oh, and listen, why don't you just keep your mouth shut?
If you saw Hakeem on the streets, what would you tell him?
Come out here. Come holler at me. Do better.
Happy Valentine's Day.
You know.
Remember when he went after Swalwell like that? No, who was that? That wasn't Swalwell. Who was that guy? Oh, what was that guy's name about the salt deductions? That's what that argument was about. Bolo tie. Yeah, it's Bolo tie Friday. I just got 2 bolo ties, and I had to really find vegan ones, man. Most of them are made of leather, dead animal skin. I had to really search. So I got 2 vegan bolo. What do you think? Am I pulling it off? Do I look like a Southwestern? I think it looks pretty cool. I'm trying to play the part of the Southwesterner because I live in Albuquerque now.
Never thought that hip hop would take it this far.
What do you want to tell Jesse Waters on his show?
Right now.
You're a liar. Oh. Here's Johnny.
Oh, you're Johnny?
I still don't.
Be sure
I
to
still
like
don't get that job. Why does he say "Here's Johnny"? Why does the guy? Why does the guy on Jesse Waters on the Man in the Street interviews always say "Here's Johnny"? I don't get why does he say that. Okay, because his name is Johnny Belisario, and so he says, "Here's Johnny." The field reporter's name is Johnny. He uses the classic late night introduction as a punchy, recognizable way to announce himself to the camera or to the random people he approaches during the comedic street segments. But he does it at the end. He doesn't introduce himself as Johnny. It doesn't make any sense. How come? It just goes to show maggers are so stupid. They didn't get the "Here's Johnny" thing. That was Ed McMahon go, "Here's Johnny" in the beginning of The Tonight Show, starring Johnny Carson. I grew up with, when I was little, but I remember Johnny Carson on the air. "Here's Johnny." And Johnny Carson, we used to see him every once in a while. He always drove a Corvette. He was big into Corvettes. It's wild stuff. Wild, wild stuff.
Now, I know Gavin told Blacks he can't read, but this is serious. Students are going to go back to school in like 2 weeks. And he doesn't seem to care how they do there. He just cares how they get there.
Well, you're the first student. Come on board in one of California's great clean and green new electric buses.
The man was supposed to be a statesman. The nomination was supposed to be a coronation. Obama and the Clintons, they were head over heels for the guy. China pampered him like a prince.
It's still early. It's still 2 years away.
Nancy's been cultivating him since he's been in diapers. Now he's emulating Mamala. She lost because of things like electric school buses.
Hit that like button, everybody. Hit that like button.
Doug and the vice president have always been very, generous and kind to me, and I mean that on a personal level. I just think that she's not a very good politician. Ultimately, at the end of the day, I don't see how she possibly thinks that distancing herself from Joe Biden is even possible. And why would you, if you really believed in the record that you had left?
Kamala's people not too happy with Hunter. Whispers are being heard all over D.C. Everybody's asking the same thing. Is he running?
It's Hunter.
Hunter, did you see the clip of him saying like how all these people, all these Republicans in DC are really gay and they're all sucking each other off and stuff? This guy, Hunter Biden, basically grew up. And Joe Biden was in politics for like 50 years. He knows all these guys, all these gay lords, and they're all closeted homosexuals. He knows that Jesse Waters is gay.
Decides to run for president. What would you tell him? What would President Biden tell him?
I do have a funny answer for that. I would say run, but then you take that how you want to.
Yeah. Right.
So, Hunter's got to find his own path.
If Newsom and Kamala can't kick it into high gear, Hunter might be the only one who can straddle the establishment and the radical left. So he's burned a few bridges. Schumer's backing guys like Abdul, who won his head. Kind of.
Abdul? Look, the bottom line is we're going to win Michigan.
The machine's so weak, someone can just come in and snatch this nomination right in front of the face of the superdelegates. Ever since Abdul clinched it, the Democrat chances of taking back the Senate dropped like a rock. This race is going to be very expensive. This Michigan Muslim has 99 problems, but being black ain't one.
There's been an effort, I think, to divide people against each other.
Gaylords is a street gang in Chicago. Gaylord is also the name of Clark Gable's last role on planet Earth. The last movie he ever made, he played a man named Gaylord. I think I had a cousin named Gay. I think Gay was a girl, though. Gay was a woman. But I had an uncle named Chick. Everyone called him Chick, but it's because his dad's name was Charles, and he didn't go by Chuck. He went by Chick. Weird names out there in the Midwest, man. People don't mind. Gaylord. I don't know. Why did people name their kids Gaylord? What a funny name. Why did people name their kids Gaylord back in the day? Why would anybody... Gaylord was an old-timey name back when gay meant happy. You might find one here and there. Most part of it isn't used anymore. No, it's not in use anymore. No, it means joyful and merry. Yeah, I guess it was like the Lord of Merriness. It was Old French. Gaylord is a masculine English name of French and Celtic origin, or Celtic origin. It stems from the word gaillard, which means high-spirited, boisterous, and strength. It means strength, everybody. Gaylord means strength.
And unfortunately, you see that the consequence of that. To tell us that some group or another group have to be counterposed because there's not enough for all of us. I am Arab. I'm also African. My family immigrated to this country from Egypt. I'm proud of my African heritage.
Do American blacks feel like a...
I look like I had a rough evening. I didn't have a rough evening. I haven't had a drop to drink in over a week, like almost 2 weeks. I haven't had a drop to drink. No, I'm just unshaven, and I've been sick. I've been very sick. I got very sick. Haven't you heard? I was very, very sick. Sky John Morgan. Yeah, I don't go by John because my dad's name was John. My uncle Chick went by Chick because his dad's name was Charles. That was my grandfather's father's name was Charles. And I don't know why he went by Chick. I would have gone by Chuck for sure. Or Chaz. Something. Not, or, I don't know, Carlos. I'd go by Carlos before I went by Chick.
Egyptians are their brothers? I don't know, just asking. An actual African American's running for Senate in Florida, Angie Nixon, no relation to Richard. Her message is a little bit more abrasive.
We have nothing to lose. We have nothing to lose. We have absolutely nothing to lose but our chains.
Blacks are still in chains.
No, not blacks are still in chains, you fucking moron. The working people of the world unite. We have nothing to lose but our chains. This is how stupid they think you are. They think that you've never read the Communist Manifesto. She was quoting the Communist Manifesto. Working men and women of the world, or working people of the world, unite. You have nothing to lose but your chains. That's it. Not black people are still in chains, you dumb asshole.
He sounds level-headed. One Democrat operative in Florida is calling crazy Angie.
She sounds level-headed.
A 140-pound anchor weighing the party down. Democrats must really hate her because
like, look at this. Like, look how he puts the devil's eyes on her, like the red eyes. She's a demon. It's just so funny, the propaganda over at Fox News. Really remarkable. Like and subscribe.
you never talk about a woman's weight. But don't worry, Don Lemon says she's not past her prime.
That, socialists, the DA.
I love the gays. They're the best. They're so fun. They're fun to go out with. They bring the girls to the yard. I don't know why guys, how come all these anti-homosexuals, they hate gays? I don't get it, man. I don't understand. Gay people are fun to hang out with. They're really good at talking to girls, and all the women immediately come over. Like, it's great hanging out with a gay. If you find a gay dude who's cool, hang out with that guy. Because that dude is going to bring all the ladies, and he's going to teach you stuff that you didn't know about, like the world, and I don't know, you'll get to learn stuff. One of my best friends in Virginia, I didn't even know he was gay the first year I knew him. It's crazy. I was like, I remember one day I was like, wait a second, you're gay? He's like, you didn't know? And I'm like, I didn't know you were gay. And funny enough, but because I don't really think about shit like that, and he didn't like have the... He wasn't like out, like really flamboyant. It's Virginia, so he wasn't like out. He was out, but I don't think he like he didn't advertise it, Anyway, everybody knew about me, and I was great friends with him, and we hung out, and he always had interesting insights, and he was into other shit that I wasn't into, and I don't know, it added some diversity in my life. It's great.
Scares some people. And are you aware of that?
Don, I am a black woman with natural hair. I scare people just being my authentic self.
I don't know what her hair has to do with this, but the media is trying everything they can to help Ange.
They are coming out hitting you as a socialist. It's not aligned with Florida.
Yeah, you don't know what hair has to do with it. You've never heard about black ladies and their hair. Black women and their natural hair, it does happen to scare conservative white people. Conservative white people, they can't stand black people in their hair. They see those afros or dreadlocks or any kind of curls, any kind of locks, they're like, they get really nervous.
Values, but the answer you're giving today makes me feel like it's not about the socialists, it's about the organizing capacity. Is that accurate?
It's actually, it's actually about the issues that they care about the most.
They're like, what I'm hearing is you're not a communist. And Ange is like, no, actually I am. Ange's brand, so contagious, Florida Democrats are double masking. The Democrat running for governor against Byron Donalds is going to social distance till November.
Do you plan to campaign with Angie Nixon?
Let's see how the next several months unfold.
I look like a drug addict. What kind of drugs do you think I'm on? Come on, let me know. I'm high on life. The only drug I've taken in the last year The only drug I've taken in the last year is ibuprofen. I'm super granola. Yeah. Jack looks like absolute shit. Thank you guys. I really appreciate you. Thank you so much.
Well, that's enough.
You guys, are you guys that DTF? You guys, no homo, all right, guys? Like, I know you're really into this. You like really into this. Am I not doing it for you? Am I not doing it for you, honey pie? You know, I need to be sexier for you.
Ricky Angie Nixon, like, wait a second. You said this was a big tent.
The Democratic Party is supposed to be a big tent of a lot of folks and a lot of thoughts. And DSA and moderates and conservative Democrats and liberals and whatever, they should all be welcome under this big tent.
Any day, Ange is going to play the race card on the Democrats. We know. And Democrats are going to be like, Ange, we love black people, just not you. The DNC is acting like a woman who just had a big blow up with her boyfriend.
I don't know. I like her with the little megaphone. She's only got the little megaphone. Where's my megaphone? I think my megaphone's in my living room. I like to have it on display so everybody knows where the fuck I come from. I like it. I like everybody knowing where the fuck I come from. I got a megaphone. As soon as you walk in, you see guitars, a megaphone. You're like, what is this guy's deal? I fuck shit up. That's what I do.
And then isn't sure if they're still together.
Democrats are unified. We are united, and we're through most of these primaries now, so it's no longer Democrat on Democrat violence. Right now,
Do you
everyone
think
is
they're really
focused on
united, though,
November
Ken? I don't want to cut you up, but I mean, the DSA, so you're saying that all the Democrats and the DSA candidates are all united?
Let me say, we are a big tent party. We always have been. There's more that unites us as Democrats than those small differences.
They've been saying that big tent shit since I was a kid. Yeah, we're big tent. We're all big tent. But we'll tell all of those radical liberals to shut the fuck up so that we can get back to making sure that the corporations keep fleecing American people and that the men and women working class and the children of the working class are left out in the cold while we count the money. Don't worry. Don't worry. It's a big tent when we're looking for power. But once we're in power, don't worry. We're still going to give the money to the same old people.
Yep, Democrat Party's never been more united. Here comes another cover-up. What is the definition of small differences? Because whether prison...
Cover-up. The only cover-up anybody should be ever talking about right now is the Epstein files. Donald Trump is a chomo. Donald Trump was a co-conspirator of Jeffrey Epstein, was in on it. He helped... He was fundamental to the operation. He helped attract celebrities and politicians and rich oil and real estate tycoons to the industry. Do you think that if you're selling children, right? How do you think you sell children? Can you take out an ad out in the classifieds, or do you take an ad out for your island, right? How do you get those creepy billionaires to come to your island and you could sell them children? How does that work, you think? You need people to bring the billionaires to you. That's it. And Donald Trump was the one who brought them. G-Max brought the English side, the aristocracy, people like Andrew and them. And Donald Trump brought his celebrity friends, because that's all he had to offer was his celebrity status.
...exist or not, more than just a difference of opinion. I wonder what Ken feels about government-run grocery stores. You know, the ones that are going to cost hundreds of millions of dollars and put mom-and-pop shops out of business. Well, don't worry. Mondani's grocery stores it's going to bail them all out.
As an agency looking at a number of different complementary, policies and programs, grants, incentives that can come alongside these grocery stores to support other, local independent businesses that are in the neighborhoods.
The commies are bribing businesses who can't compete with government price controls.
The commies are bribing businesses. Basically, that's what we do as America. We take money from the people and we give it to business. That's America. It's called corporatism. It's what Mussolini said he should have called fascism. We take money from the people and give it to business so that we get public-private partnerships, and the oligarchs continue to make more money, and to the point where they're making a billion, a trillion, a quadrillion dollars, and you have fucking nothing.
Why are Democrats pretending like this is normal? Once again, it falls on the media to rescue the machine. Even CNN is telling the commies to get it together.
Fidel Castro locked my grandfather up, sentenced to 20 years for doing what you're doing now on live TV, for speaking his mind, for expressing himself freely, for trying to organize politically. So
Fidel Castro.
How to think that lands with people who suffer under that dictatorship.
We're seeing many people in the United States who are struggling under massive inequality in the United States.
The commies are making CNN sound like Fox. They must hate this. There has to be a silver lining. Are the communists forcing the Democrat Party to finally stand up and say what it stands for? Obama's off somewhere holding his nose.
CNN has always sounded like Fox.
Carville waved the white flag Monday here, and I can't even tell the difference between Newsom and Kamala anymore. They're both crossing their legs on electric school buses, which is why there's a lane for Hunter Biden. He just has to do his best and not pull a Pauly P and crash. Caroline Sun.
Jesse Waters can't cross his legs because of all of the warts. He's got lots of warts. He's got genital warts, so he can't cross his legs. It's a problem. That's why he only takes it up the butt these days. It gets his back blown out. He has to be a catcher because he can't be a pitcher anymore because of all of the genital warts. He can't even cross his legs. It's too uncomfortable.
Turning to a big story that might matter more than anything that most people are discussing in politics these days. It's partly about heat on MAGA tech billionaires, but it relates to this larger set of investments and possible developments of an AI bubble, which we know from history, if it involves enough of the economy or banks, can lead to those bailouts that end up costing you money, whether you're in the market or not. We've been reporting on friend of Trump Oracle CEO Larry Ellison and his big debt, which was documented by the New York Times exhaustively, while these other big tech companies that are already making money are going deeper into the AI game. Meta, Apple, Google, and then the new kids on the block that you keep hearing.
Man, I'm worried about this. Am I supposed to invest in the S&P 500 when these assholes are the ones that are going to crush the economy? I'm betting on these douche nozzles.
About OpenAI, which has ChatGPT and Anthropic, raising a ton of money. So there's a collective bet on AI that now is the U.S. economy and stock market, and it all kind of happened pretty fast. So then we turn beyond the people who think this is the way to make money, or Donald Trump, who's been very cozy with these people, to a wider set of reporting and analysis. There are doubters in the markets. Of course, they call that bears or skeptics, and they are looking at this. Journalist Ed Zitron is probably one of the foremost independent expert bears. He's done the reporting and work, and it's led him to these warnings that AI so far underdelivers and that financially it's overextended. If anything, looking at an economy that has a host of challenges, he said maybe we should let AI burn because the industry is losing money so far. He's also written what he calls haters' guides to some of these AI companies. So where he's coming from is skepticism, and he is now in a land where many people are just trying to make money off the hype or kind of stamp AI on anything. And we've seen the backlash to that in labor among students and young people. And, well, a lot of Democratic candidates, frankly, are pushing against the data.
I'm worried about it because you're supposed to put your money in the S&P 500. And now I'm really worried about it because like 26% to 30% is, some people say some of these index funds are 40% AI tech. Well, if the bubble bursts, half of those are going to go to zero, right? You're going to lose 20% overnight. You'll lose 20% overnight, just like they did back in the .com boom. You guys, is anybody old enough to remember the .com boom? I'm worried. Edward Thornton, are you worried about the tech boom being like the .com boom, or we're gonna get back? Don't forget to hit that like button, homie. Hit that like button, homie.
Centers, but Zitron has become the leading expert voice on the bearish case against AI.
Large language models are not the future. The only reason big tech is investing in this is that they've run out of hypergrowth ideas. OpenAI is a load-bearing fail-son.
What do you make of Zuckerberg's editorial?
I think it all exists to distract from the fact Meta will not disclose its AI revenues.
They can just sink that cash into more and more investment.
The problem is that's slowly not becoming true.
Everyone is being sold what I consider kind of a lie. It's honestly kind of a scandal.
The Super Bear, Ed Zitron, joins us now. Welcome.
Thanks for having me.
Great to have.
Tell me, should I invest in S&P 500 if 30 to 40% of it is fucking AI?
Hey, you're making a name for yourself.
Just tell me.
Yeah, I mean, it's funny. People really don't like the skeptics' view right up until it's important that everyone listens. And I think now that it's becoming alarmingly obvious how much money is being lost and indeed how little other revenue exists outside of OpenAI and Anthropic, suddenly everyone wants to listen.
Yeah, well, we showed it. You've been called upon a lot of places. You're making your debut partly for that reason. So we think folks should at least listen to you tonight, make up their own minds. Let's jump right in to one of the key problems that you were early to spot, which is if this stuff is so great, why does it need so much subsidy? Why is there what they call the circular financing? One outlet said one of the big chip makers benefits from nearly every stage of AI infrastructure spending. Investors worried this ecosystem becomes too circular and then interconnected, or on Wall Street, as I mentioned, they call it technically circular financing because the snake is eating its own tail, which doesn't usually work out well. I also want to note that chip maker CEO at NVIDIA says it's not actually circular. So what is your view, and why is it important to them to deny that?
Well, I mean, NVIDIA is investing.
But Edward Thornton, then what is the alternative? What do you get? What do you buy? If you can't trust the S&P 500 index funds, what do you get? Because that is the standard, S&P 500. But now it's so on this mega cap bullshit, this mega cap tech shit. Now it's like, well, I don't know what to do. Yeah, go back to stuffing our money into buy gold. Buy gold. Then I got to keep the gold in like a safe or some shit. I'm not going to buy gold and ammo and black powder. Fuck.
Invested in OpenAI, Anthropic, CoreWeave, one of the largest customers. It's backstop data centers for CoreWeave, it's backstop CoreWeave's leases. It's invested in a company called Poolside today to basically hire away most of their staff. It seems that whenever anyone actually tries to make money in this, they get a bunch of money from NVIDIA, raise debt to buy GPUs, and then, well, nothing else happens because it takes 18 to 36 months to build a data center. And the only two major companies, OpenAI and Anthropic, they are pretty much 90% of AI revenues. The information report 89%. Worse still, they make up, according to UBS, Wells Fargo, and Barclays, more than 70% of all hyperscaler AI revenues. This means that AI is a single-digit billion business in an industry that has spent more than $1 trillion in capital expenditures in the last 4 years.
So just to slow down and unpack what you're saying, is we hear a lot about this quote unquote.
How do you buy solar? What do you mean buy solar?
Revolutionizing everything. I mean, that's the rhetoric. And you're saying on the business side that whatever that is, however much people believe that, that's mostly going through two doors. You're saying Anthropic, which was recently fighting with the Pentagon, OpenAI, which has buddied up to Trump through Sam Altman. We've heard about that. You're saying it's going through those two doors, and neither of those doors are remotely profitable yet.
Yeah, I reported a couple months ago that OpenAI lost $20.9 billion in 2025. These companies lose tens of billions of dollars, and they are now become, well, they're the largest customers of AI services and compute from the hyperscalers. Now, here's the problem. Hyperscalers are dependent on that revenue growth, on that spend from Anthropic and OpenAI to keep growing. Analyst estimates are expecting that. And the funny thing is those expectations can only get met in a world of unlimited resources where Anthropic and OpenAI can raise, what, $217 billion this year alone.
Yeah, we'll jump ahead. We had that for later, but we'll actually show your bar chart. It's not apples to apples, but this is built on the data you mentioned. So we'll jump ahead to that. When you say hyperscalers, you're talking about these big tech companies that we know, or they sometimes call that the Mag 7. And you're saying here, roughly, in half a year, they're doing 10x, 200 billion, compared to what Amazon did over many years when people make the counter argument. They say, well, Amazon was not profitable at first. Can you walk us through these numbers?
Absolutely. So everyone talks about how Amazon Web Services, one of the most successful and profitable tech businesses in the world,
Yeah.
how they were losing money at first and it cost a lot of money. Well,
Yeah.
between 2003, which is the year it was created, and 2015, the year that Amazon Web Services became profitable, Amazon, writ large, so not just the service stuff, but also the logistics side, spent $29.7 billion in that entire period. Anthropic raised $30 billion in February. And spent so much more money. And on top of all this funding, it's $1 trillion+ spent by companies like Microsoft, Google, Amazon, Meta, and Oracle. Oracle has a very real chance of dying as a result of getting in bed with Sam Altman and OpenAI.
Right. And Oracle, that's Larry Ellison, who we've been reporting on.
What's
who was
the answer?
On the first full day of this presidential term was at the White House, and he sort of tied himself in. And that goes to the thing that, Ed, you think about this constantly. A lot of other people don't.
I hate the fucking news now because they talk about all this shit, then get me all scared about investing, and then it's like, okay, well, what should I do then? Oh, just be very worried. That's all.
Their lives, gas prices, maybe the midterms. Our audience loves, we track elections. But if you're right, and I would even say if you're half right, if you're going in the right direction, everyone's going to care about this because they could very well topple the stock market in a way that then demands a bailout. And we know what that looks like. I want to remind people how this looks. Here we go.
OpenAI's charm offensive seems to have hit a bit of a speed bump after implying that the federal government would serve as a backstop for the company.
This all comes as people question how the company is going to pay for that $1 trillion plus $1.4 trillion in commitments over the next 8 years.
White House AI and crypto czar David Sachs is pushing back hard on the idea of a federal bailout for America's leading AI firms.
All right, hold on. If AI and mega cap tech stocks are like up to 30% of most S&P 500 index funds, then is S&P 500 index still the best investment for the average investor in America? Let's see.
But it's riskier now because a large portion, up to 30%, is in AI and big tech stocks. For financial advice, consult a professional.
Top heavy index. The top 10 companies now make roughly 40% of the entire S&P 500. 40%. Owning 500 companies sounds safe, but today's market cap weighting means you are making a giant bet on a handful of tech stocks. For if AI profits stumble, the whole index feels it. Total stock market funds. How to adapt. Consider a total U.S. stock market index fund to add more exposure to medium and smaller companies. Okay, now we're talking solution oriented. That's what I like. All right, give me some solution oriented shit. Let's look. Plan to retire? I don't know if I'm planning. I just need to put the fucking money in a place that it grows. That's all. I can help you evaluate your overall portfolio if it's balanced enough. Are you already holding other funds? No. International diversification. Add global or international index funds to reduce your... I'm not doing that. All right, so equal weight 500. Okay, so What are some total U.S. stock market index funds, and what are some equal weight S&P 500 funds one might invest in or look into? Okay, what do we got? 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 All right, Vanguard's VT Sachs or VTI for total market exposure. Invesco's RSP, an equal weighted S&P 500 approach. Okay, this is where I feel like I think I'll be a little bit safer. Highly cost efficient as an ultra low 0.04%. Cost the entire U.S. economy. Not bad, like that's a pretty good idea. The stock market always goes up a little bit, right? Then you're always going up. Mutual fund designed for long-term investors is a total market index fund. Fidelity, iShares, core S&P total U.S. stock market ETF, a highly liquid BlackRock ETF, tracks the S&P total market index, offering broad multi-cap blending. Low-cost foundational holding at 0.03%. Equal weight S&P 500s. Invesco. But here's the thing. Instead of weighting by company size, giving Microsoft and NVIDIA massive influence, these funds weight every company equally. In a 500 stock equal weight fund, every company represents exactly 0.2% of the portfolio at rebalancing. This completely strips away the hyper concentration of mega cap tech. All right, I think that's what I need to do. Is like do half on the Invesco and half in like the Vanguard VO. That's what I'm thinking. What are you thinking? What are you thinking? Just split it, right? The gasoline, exactly. Your farmer's market sucks. I haven't been to a farmer's market in Albuquerque yet, but I want to go. Solar panels to offset electricity doubling in price. Man, I want to. God damn it. I do want to do that. But you don't have to pay that all at once. You pay it off, right? You pay it off over time. You don't invest. I'm not going to invest $15,000 or $30,000 in solar panels and a battery. It's like it's $15,000 for the fucking solar panels, another $15,000 for the stupid battery, so you can live off the grid. Man, I don't think I'm going to make it.
So if you're partly right and this goes pop, would you say that the push from these people who have been very tight with Trump and certain people in our government, the push for a bailout is sort of low, unlikely, medium, or high risk?
I'm sure they'll try and get one, but the thing is, this isn't something you can really bail out, because it's not just OpenAI and Anthropic dying.
3 wishes to be exact, and 8 nay on the wishing for more wishes. That's it. 3, one of those plays. No substitutions, exchanges are refund.
We are about to create a genie that can grant any wish.
Uh-huh.
There you have it. From mythology, fantasy, children's stories, to one of these tech titans and an AI company, all been saying they will have the genie level option. No word on whether they will limit you on the wishing for more wishes. And we have this claim coming across from more than just one company. Those big tech companies, what our guests call the hyperscalers, include Meta's Facebook, where Zuckerberg might be viewed skeptically as he's gone from the metaverse to AI as a kind of savior for what his company's future could be. He's had other controversies we know. And let's look at his trajectory and the criticism he's faced, including from our guest, a prominent co-founder.
I will get it under control. I will call someone and see what the next move is, but this is going to be news now.
I'm a free speech absolutist. I'm not the one who's lying, and I'm not stopping them from seeing someone who is.
I hope that we will get to a point with AI where you can write verifiably secure code.
I worry about the bubble in that space with so much money.
Jokingly, some might call you a class traitor.
Yeah, I think we're fucked. I'm really worried about this. I'm worried about this. I hate this. I don't like it whatsoever. No, sir, I don't like. No, sir, I don't like it.
A landmark trial against Facebook's parent company, Meta, has begun in Oakland, California. Meta is accused of designing Facebook and Instagram to addict kids despite clear risks. The case was brought by attorneys general from 4 states, California, Colorado, Kentucky, and New Jersey. In total, 29 states have sued Meta over its practices. Outside the federal courthouse in Oakland, parents spoke out about the impact of social media platforms on their children's well-being. This is Shannon Heacock, whose son Elijah died by suicide at the age of 16.
This wasn't an accident. My son did not take his life. My son was killed. It's a design choice. A company that builds its platforms to maximize a child's engagement. Click after click at the cost of the child's safety. They knew what they were doing.
In other major media news, ABC sued the Federal Communications Commission after FCC Chair Brendan Carr ordered an early review of 8 local ABC TV licenses. Carr had ordered the review one day after President Trump and First Lady Melania Trump publicly demanded ABC fire late-night host Jimmy Kimmel for a joke about the First Lady.
I really think you're right. I think this next recession is going to really fucking suck. And people are going to get their houses foreclosed on. It's going to be nasty. It's going to be really fucking nasty. Man. People are going to be in the street. It's going to be really scary. The department grows $5 million a minute or $7 billion a day. I don't know what you're talking about.
The FCC is also investigating ABC over its corporate diversity programs, as well as alleged political bias on the morning show The View. In its lawsuit, ABC states, quote, acting through the Federal Communications Commission, the administration's waged a retaliatory campaign against ABC for a single reason. It disapproves of what ABC broadcasts. For more on these two...
Yeah, that's the one thing. I know that that's not like... Everyone says that's not the best investment to make, but I just figured, you know, like if I have a house... then they can't take that away from me that easily. I know that the tax man can still come, but they're usually slower than the mortgage guy, you know? They're usually slow. They'll let you owe them for a long time on the taxes. Like if as long as you're paying your taxes, they'll usually be like, all right. Because they don't want to take your fucking house. They don't want to worry about all that bullshit. So you're usually okay as long as you can like keep your utilities up and at least make good faith payments. Even utilities, if you're paying, even if you're not paying the full amount, a lot of times they'll let it ride because it's too annoying for them to fuck with you. So as long as you're paying, they're usually good. Yeah, maybe I should invest in more guns. That's what I should invest in. Oh, God. I need to invest in some raised garden beds first so I can grow some food back here in my new backyard. I got this big, beautiful backyard, and I haven't figured out what to do with it yet. If you have any ideas, let me know. Don't come to Costa Rica, gringos. We can't afford Costa Rica. What are you talking about? You can't even afford Costa Rica anymore.
Stories, as well as other major media news. We go to California, where we're joined by Jessica Gonzalez, co-CEO of Free Press and a member of the Big Tech Oversight Board. Jessica, welcome back to Democracy Now! Let's start with the opening arguments in the Meta trial in Oakland. Talk about the significance of this case.
Good morning, Amy. Listen, for years, many of us have been pointing out that platforms like Facebook are making design choices that are harmful. The business model of Facebook and other social media platforms is selling us, our attention, our eyeballs, and our kids' attention to advertisers. The business model is predicated on getting us addicted, on essentially having us spend as much time as possible on these platforms. It's really interesting to see a case finally make it to trial and to actually have these issues litigated. But the truth is that Facebook knew a lot about the impacts of its platform on children and on others. And the business model really is about collecting a lot of data about us and using that data to micro-target us with the type of content that makes us keep coming back.
You're a member of the Big Tech Oversight Board. What is that?
This is a collection of people who came together after Facebook appointed its own oversight board, which was a list of folks who were on the Facebook payroll who were meant to provide some oversight over what the company was doing. In reality, they didn't have any authority to hold the platform accountable. And so a collection of folks from around the world, led by Carol Cadwalader, who broke the Cambridge Analytica story.
I was thinking about making like a little, you know, maybe I could turn my studio into a panic room or something. No, I'm actually not that worried about that. I need to get to know my neighbors, and we'll protect each other. This neighborhood, I live in a neighborhood where people kind of know each other. They've been there a long time, so I need to reach out and get to know them. I think that I'm pretty safe in Albuquerque because, well, a lot of us have guns out here, so I think I'm pretty safe. What the left embraces every fringe group in hopes it'll destroy the United States as we sweet havoc. Are you literally insane? You need to go get some help, buddy. Get some help. For real, people can build out a dumpster into a decent home. They can. I thought about building like a little gazebo out in my backyard, like one of those. I love the geodesic domes. I thought it'd be cool to have like a little yoga dome out there, little yoga dome.
When Donald Trump was in college, happily avoiding the military draft for the war in Vietnam, the most famous cabinet secretary in Lyndon Johnson's cabinet was the Secretary of Defense, Robert McNamara.
Robert McNamara's service in the cabinet ended, as Scott Bessent's will, in total failure. That's where Donald Trump saw those glasses, on Robert McNamara. Robert McNamara was wrong about the war in Vietnam, and Scott Bessent is wrong, as far as we can tell, about everything. Scott Bessent may look the part.
Raul, if I have solar panels, you can plug in. As soon as I get solar panels, you can plug in. Geodomes are awesome. Geodesic domes, I've always had a fascination with them. I've always kind of wanted to live in one. I know I'm never gonna, but I've always wanted a geodesic dome with a hot tub in it. Yes. I was actually thinking about just a geodesic dome as like a place where I can do like a meditation and yoga kind of thing. The reason why I think of it like that, when I was in Taos, I stayed at an Airbnb in the middle of the mesa, and it was such a cool spot. And it was like RVs set up around a geodesic dome, and the geodesic dome had a little like a stovepipe heater, like a stove heater in there. It had a TV to watch movies on if you want, like with DVDs, and it had a yoga spot, and it was so cool. I loved it. I just really enjoyed it. I went there every day and I stretched. It was kind of nice because it was right outside. I went in, I stretched and did my thing, and then meditated, and then I could start my day. I know here I can do the same thing in like one of my bedrooms, but it's kind of nice to have something outside, right? And like a geodesic dome. I don't know why. I can't explain it. I haven't thought it all through, but I thought it was cool. Start an RV park with those Earth ship. Man, I wish I could. But those Earth ships cost like $800,000. I don't have $800,000. I don't have that. Perineum standing, it does. It's great. Perineum tanning is wonderful. Yeah. Sounds awesome, right? Skyville. Exactly. Have a little place I could rent out. A little ABU for fucking plumb. Get it plumbed. People could stay in it as an Airbnb.
In Donald Trump's mind, but his personal and professional resume are not what fanatical Trump supporters would have been hoping for in a Treasury Secretary. Fanatical Trump supporters would expect to find a gay man married to a man and raising two children together after having worked for George Soros in the Obama cabinet or the Biden cabinet. But there he is, in the Trump cabinet.
Yeah.
He solidified his position in history today as the most ignorant Treasury Secretary since oil was discovered on planet Earth in 1859 when he said this.
We've got a spike in oil prices today that I don't really understand.
Every single American who paid more for gasoline today knows.
Skyville, maybe Skyville should be what my zine is called. We're going to do the zine. I need to set up the zine. I need to raise $300 in on a GoFundMe. I need 10 people to subscribe for a year, a $30 subscription, and I will make it the zine. I know a lot of people have been asking about the zine. I want to get people to submit. I want to find poems and stories that people write. I think it'd be so great. I really, really, really have wanted to do it for a long time, and I'm almost there. But I need to do like a GoFundMe and raise $300 for it so I can get it started. But I think it'd be really cool. Facing your bum hole toward the sun is actually luxury. What a future we live on. I mean, it's just, seriously. It'll take some time, Jack, but if you want to improve your backyard, you can create a good-looking desert landscape. It looks pretty good. It's mostly mulch and like a mosaic tile thing. It's not so bad. It needs a little love, though. I just want to, and the desert stuff, I want to get like a water catchment thing, because you guys say like, oh, electricity is going to be expensive. Fucking water is going to be expensive. So I kind of want to do a water catchment so I can grow my own vegetables. I think that'd be really cool. Geothermal tubing, that'd be sick too.
They paid more for gasoline today because of Donald Trump's war in Iran, which Scott Bessent, who never served a day in the military, so enthusiastically supports, but apparently does not understand what that war does to oil prices. When Robert McNamara was busy losing the Vietnam War every day in the 1960s, members of the Johnson administration kept talking about the light at the end of the tunnel, which they may have believed when they first started using the phrase. In 1965, Henry Cabot Lodge Jr., American ambassador to South Vietnam, wrote this assessment of the war to President Johnson. It will be straightforward, if slow, plowing ahead with the light at the end of the tunnel growing brighter all the time. That was 1965. The American military and Defense Department didn't really know what they were doing in Vietnam in 1965, but they also could have been guessing wrong about the light at the end of the tunnel. A year later, in 1966, President Johnson said in a speech, Americans often grow impatient when they cannot see light at the end of the tunnel. And by that time, Lyndon Johnson was becoming impatient with impatient young Americans who were beginning to loudly protest, being sent off to a war that seemed pointless. But a year later, the light at the end of the tunnel had dimmed to the point that by 1967, Treasury Secretary Douglas Dillon said, we must give some hope that there is a possibility in the next 2 or 3 years of seeing light at the end of the tunnel. By 1967, Vietnam felt like a forever war, and the Treasury Secretary was saying, if we could just say that it would be over in 2 or 3 years, people would support us. It took years.
I've looked into it. In Albuquerque, they actually they give you a break on your taxes if you get water catchment per gallon. So it's pretty common to do 2,000 gallons, which to me sounds crazy, but if you set it up, you can get it pretty quickly, because Albuquerque still gets like 9 inches of rain a year, but it only gets it like in this very specific amount of time. It all comes at the same time. So you need to catch it when catching's good. But yeah, they give you tax breaks. Kind of cool.
The people in authority in American government to stop believing in the light at the end of the tunnel in the Vietnam War. Donald Trump's phrasing for the light at the end of the tunnel in his Iran war has been 2 or 3 days, 2 or 3 weeks, any day now. Donald Trump has predicted the end of his war in a couple of days for more times than anyone can remember, and he's been wrong every single time. And today, Donald Trump's Treasury Secretary gave this time estimate for Donald Trump's war.
This Iran conflict, we will get on the other side of this. We don't know when.
We don't know when. That's a lot worse than Lyndon Johnson's Treasury Secretary saying 2 or 3 years. We don't know when is the very definition of a forever war. And so Donald Trump's Treasury Secretary did him the favor today of, in effect, declaring Donald Trump's war in Iran to be taking its place in the list of America's forever wars in that region in the 21st century. That's what Donald Trump's central casting Treasury Secretary did for him and his war today. And while he was at it, Scott Bessent became the only Republican Treasury Secretary in history to show absolutely no concern whatsoever about the national debt on a day when it hit a new historic high, a Trump-achieved high of $40 trillion.
That's what I mean.
In his first 100 days in the White House, Donald Trump said he would, quote, pay down our national debt, and it'll all happen very quickly.
Very
and
quickly.
Since that day,
Bigly, the
Trump
bigly
has paid
debt.
up the national debt, increased the national debt by $3.8 trillion. Donald Trump and Scott Bessent managed to increase the national debt by more than 10% and push it up over $40 trillion. And then keep waging a very expensive war in Iran that is pushing the national debt up every single day with no end in sight.
Bruh, you know what I'm doing for lunch? Oh my God. So there's a horror book club down, and it's like on the other side of town. So I got to use a car, and it's on the other side of the water, and I'm going to go to Old Town and go to Vegan Vato today. I'm only going to eat one meal today, and it's going to be Vegan Vato. I am not going to eat all day long just so I can eat Vegan Vato, because it's fucking filling. It's so much food, and I can't wait. I think I'm going to get the Cali burrito or maybe the nachos. Yeah, oh my God. Friday, baby. It's Friday night, and I am going to Vegan Vato, and I'm going to have my horror book club and hopefully make some new friends.
That's what Scott Bessent said today. No end in sight for Donald Trump's war. Yesterday, Donald Trump announced a vague outline for new sanctions against Iran, saying this will be an economic D-Day. The real D-Day was the deadliest day.
The book that we're reading is House of Leaves. I've already read it, so I was like, all right, I'll go to that book club. That's cool. I'll sit in. And it was cool because I've read two books this month, and I'm on my third, and I need to finish it by like September 1st. Because I read Whale Fall, and I'm reading Zadie Smith's White Teeth. And Zadie Smith's White Teeth is like a 500-page book, so it's a lot. It's a dense read. 500 pages is a lot to read in a couple weeks, even for me. So you love House of Leaves? I am not that big a fan, actually, but I know why people like it. It's a fun book. It's fun. It's really fun. What did you like about it? Tell me what you liked about it.
For American military in World War II, with 2,501 American war dead.
Yeah, Whale Fall, the movie is coming out with the guy from Goonies. What's that guy from the Goonies? What's his name? What's that guy from the Goonies who played Thanos? What's that guy's name? He's in it. And that little kid who played Ron in The Walking Dead, he's in it. I read that book this month, and it was good. I have a lot of criticism about it, but I thought it was really good. Yeah. Josh Brolin. Yeah, Josh Brolin. Did you like it? Tell me what you liked about it.
With an additional almost 2,000 Allied soldiers, mostly from Britain and Canada, lying on the beaches that day, beside their American comrades in arms. A total of 4,414 dead, just on our side of the D-Day invasion. How stupid do you have to be to say that something in a live television interview, and then say, don't quote me? Donald Trump's Central Casting Treasury Secretary managed to do that today in a live television interview, saying something, then saying, don't quote me, when he suggested the economy could achieve 4% economic growth, and then immediately said, don't quote me. Okay, Scott, we won't, but we will quote you about something else. And this is the quote that will follow you around for the rest of your life, as the light at the end of the tunnel, quotes, during the Vietnam War, followed everyone who ever said them for the rest of their haunted lives. Here's what Scott Bessent said about what Donald Trump is calling economic D-Day for Iran.
We are going to squash the economy of this murderous regime. It is going to work in Iran, and we are...
This murderous regime, we're going to squash their economy, this murderous regime. Dude, we have a murderous regime. Our economy will also be squashed. It ain't good. This ain't looking good, folks. It ain't looking good. Bro, you like the Descension into Madness? It puts things in perspective for me. That was kind of cool, except like in the end, it's just like his mom wrote the whole book, and I thought that was such a cop-out. And I thought like all the characters just kind of... It was cool because it was kind of a scary novel. It actually was one of the only novels I've read in like the last year where I was like, whoa, this is pretty fucking scary. Because usually with horror books, I don't really think of it as like actually scary. And there are some parts in that book where they do successfully do that. But it's like a huge investment in the book. And it's a huge, like, House of Leaves is a huge investment reading that book. So much time and energy, and it's so hard to read too, because of the format and everything. It's really fucked up. You gotta turn all these footnotes. It's very difficult to read. And then in the end, the payoff is like, bleh. But I guess, it's fun, and it looks cool. It's a really cool looking book. I'm not scared by horror books. Yeah, me neither. I'm not usually scared by horror books. But there was one part in that book where he's like, focus on the margins, and it was like, I thought that was a pretty cool, like a meta. I don't know. I thought that was a cool, like, breaking the fourth wall for a novel and make it kind of scary. That was really neat. But if you want something that's got a great, unreliable author, then read Pale Fire by Vladimir Nabokov. Pale Fire by Vladimir Nabokov, one of the greatest books ever written. I think it's better than Lolita. It's not a popular opinion, but I think it's better than Lolita, and it's the greatest example of the the untrustworthy narrator. I fucking love it. And you have to read everything. You have to read the index. It's fantastic. It's fantastic. What book am I reading that's 500 pages? It's White Teeth by Zadie Smith. White Teeth by Zadie Smith. Oh yeah, Pale Fire. Pale Fire is one of the greatest books ever written. I think it might be the best novel of the 20th century. But, everyone says Lolita. I'm like, but I'm weird that way. Like, Moby Dick is a masterpiece, but I liked White Jacket more. White Jacket was more readable and more relatable and funnier, and I liked White Jacket more. It was just as heavy and serious, but it had and so it's just as literary, but it had it had something. I don't know. I like White Jacket more than Moby Dick. That's from the 19th century. Because Moby Dick is supposed to be the greatest novel of the 19th century. And the greatest novel of the 20th century is supposed to be Lolita. And Lolita, great. It's wonderful. And so is Moby Dick. But I actually like, from those same authors, I like Pale Fire and White Jacket. There you go. That's it. However, Married by Nat Cassidy is supposed to be an homage to Carrie by Stephen King, so take that as you will. Interesting. I like Lolita, but I can't read anymore. Why can't you read anymore? You can't read anything anymore?
Going to collapse this regime.
We're going to collapse this regime. The man who says he has no idea how long the war, he is so enthused.
Yeah, it's like Moby Dick, I think it's a fucking masterpiece. And I don't think it's hard to read, but it's an investment, I guess. It's like a little bit more, it takes a little bit more from you than other novels. And I feel like that's the same kind of thing with House of Leaves. it takes a lot of investment from the reader, and the fact that it doesn't pay off pisses me off. It's kind of like I'm worried about Zadie Smith. Supposedly it ends fantastically, but Zadie Smith's White Teeth is so sprawling and huge, and I'm thinking like, man, you're no Leo Tolstoy. I mean, War and Peace is sprawling and huge, and it pays off in the end. Is this going to pay off? I'm like investing in all these characters and all these histories of their families, and I'm like, oh, it's a lot. It's a big book. And then I'm going, I hope this fucking pays off. I hate it when it doesn't pay off. Investment, yeah. Smartphones destroyed your long-term memory and passage of time. That's where books are really great, because you invest and then you get a payoff. And the good, that's why the classics are so fucking good. Like I last year, or maybe it was this year, I can't remember. I read Wuthering Heights recently. I reread it, I should say. And or maybe I read it for the first time all the way through or something. And because it felt kind of new to read it, but I remember reading it younger. And because in college you have to study the Bronte sisters, whatever. So I read Wuthering Heights cover to cover, and it was goddamn wonderful. It was a wonderful fucking book. And you know what sucks is that I've hated every movie. I've hated every time anyone talks about Wuthering Heights. My mom loved the old black and white movie, and it was so dumb and boring. And I always thought that this book would suck. And I read Wuthering Heights. It's a fucking masterpiece. It's a masterpiece. And the movie sucks. The movie is horrible. Crime and Punishment's pretty goddamn good too. Yeah, I haven't read the. I loved Wuthering Heights. It's fantastic. It's wonderful. It's a gothic horror story romance that isn't romantic. It's not even a romance. It's a gothic horror story with unrequited love and death and grave robbery and all sorts of cool shit, man. It's insane. It's insane. But whatever. Ballad of Roy Benavides. I don't know. If anybody wants me to read some stuff in the chat, it's really hard for me to know what. If you want me to read something, then you want to make recommendations for anything for me to watch or read, please leave links in the community. The community, I will. I'll try anything.
Enthusiastic about is going to last, says with confidence, we are going to collapse this regime. By the end of 1967, Robert McNamara was in agony over the mistake.
You don't want to start Truman Capote's In Cold Blood? It's fucking amazing. I really do not want to. Why don't you want to start it? It's wonderful. Hair on the walls. I'm just a normal babe. Not me. I'm a normal babe. I'm a normal babe. I can't believe you don't want to read In Cold Blood. It's wonderful. It's fantastic. You saw one of the movies. The movies, first of all, the movies are only part one of the book. All of the movies is part one of the book. Why would you do that? And then they end the movie at the end of part one. And so there's no payoff. The movies blow. The movies are horrible. They don't even have the whole thing. You want to read In Cold Blood? In Cold Blood's fantastic. It's wonderful. It's short too. Why don't you want to start it? It's short. It's really good.
Calculations he had made about the Vietnam War over the previous 4 years, and he just couldn't take it anymore. He resigned, and he spent the rest of his life a defeated man, a haunted man. Robert McNamara spent the rest.
It's not a dry story. It starts with the murder, as far as I can remember. It's them driving down the road talking about killing a family. I don't think that there's a, because we know what the crime was now, right? They murdered a family in cold blood. It's a fantastic true crime novel. I mean, it's the first of its kind.
Of his life, sorry for being so wrong and being part of the leadership that sent in the end a total of 58,220 Americans to their deaths for no reason in Vietnam. Robert McNamara, at least, had the decency to be hunted by that. We should not expect such decency from Scott Bessent. On October 23rd, 1966, when Lyndon Johnson and most of the people in his administration, including Robert McNamara, were still desperately hoping to somehow win the Vietnam War, the U.S. Army's commanding general in Vietnam, William Westmoreland, said, according to notes of a meeting in the Philippines, quote, while there was light at the end of the tunnel, we had to be geared for the long pull. The enemy is relying on his greater staying power. It is only his will and resolve that are sustaining him now, and his faith that his will is stronger than ours.
And it was.
His will was stronger than ours. The North Vietnamese army beat the United States Army in Vietnam because their will was stronger than ours. And whose will seems stronger tonight in Donald Trump's war in Iran? Iran's foreign minister said this today on Elon Musk's social media site. The so-called economic D-Day is a diversion from America's own crisis. Unprecedented debt and surging interest costs. Doubling down on failed policies will only bring further defeat and enmity of Iranians. U.S. economic terrorism threatens global economy and sovereignty worldwide. Does he sound ready to be crushed by Scott Bessent? We don't know when Donald Trump's war is going to end, but we know how it is going to end. We have seen this before. CBS News anchor Walter Cronkite saw it in 1968 when he went to Vietnam and on February 27th delivered the most important nightly news coverage in the history of the Vietnam War.
To say that we are closer to victory today is to believe, in the face of the evidence, the optimists who have been wrong in the past. It is increasingly clear to this report that the only rational way out then will be to negotiate, not as victors, but as an honorable people who lived up to their pledge to defend democracy and did the best they could. This is Walter Cronkite. Good night.
Jesus. Two successive presidents, Lyndon Johnson and Richard Nixon, were incapable of facing the reality that Walter Cronkite saw on February 27th, 1968. Two successive presidents were incapable of conducting real, effective negotiations to end the war in Vietnam. Negotiations.
Really, it was three because like JFK.
That Walter Cronkite saw were absolutely necessary. And so in the end, we fled. The United States Army retreated. And the last Americans were chased out of Vietnam, which is now a tourist destination for American honeymooners.
What?
We did not win regime change in Vietnam. We simply, at long last, came to our senses. Tonight, Donald Trump is more lost than any American war president has ever been, and his Treasury Secretary is right about exactly one thing. He and we have no idea at all, when Donald Trump's war in Iran will end.
Damn, bro. Fucking, I love Lawrence O'Donnell. Okay, Jack, one question. How do you feel about the movies coming out with our childhood movie characters becoming horror icons? It's only happening because it's an easy way for them to, because those characters, their copyright ends, right? And so they make them horror movies. I think it's great. Fuck them. You know, I think it's great. Make the Mickey Mouse, Steamboat Mickey, Screamboat Mickey, fantastic. Popeye the Slayer Man, great. I think it's great. Do it. I think it's great. I think they should make porn out of it too. Make Popeye the Sailor Man porn. Do it all. Nothing is sacred. Popeye is so bad that it's so funny. I haven't seen Pooh yet, but there's a Pinocchio Unstrung with Robert Englund. I got to hang out with Robert Englund a while back. Robert Englund's cool. I got to hang out with him. He used to come to my restaurant a lot. And one day I met him a bunch of times, and then I got to like hang out with him. It was cool. Yeah. I like that. You're the audience for it. Yeah, screw it. Yeah, do it. Popeye the Slayer Man sounds dope. Yeah, I've seen the ads. Yeah. Yeah, he's super cool. He's a super nice guy. Like it's funny because there's only these few people. I've met so many celebrities, and there's only a few that I kind of like. I was like, ooh, and he was one of them. He was definitely one where I was like, oh my God, it's fucking Freddie. And I wanted to meet him, and I got to like, he came in alone and sat at the bar, and he had come in he used to come in a lot, and then he came in alone once, and he just sat at the bar, and he had dinner and a drink, and I kept him company while he ate. It was pretty cool. Yeah.
A lot of attention on the Korean Peninsula this week. It started when US President Donald Trump announced that military exercises between the US and South Korea would be scaled down. Those always annoy North Korea. Since then, Trump has come up with more statements suggesting his willingness to meet North Korea's leader Kim Jong-un again. Kim's sister, Kim Yo-jong, came out with a statement where she went through the whole of North Korea's concerns about international relations, also saying that she feels that Kim and Trump still have a good relationship. After that, South Korea has come out with reports saying that North Korea has a new launch of ballistic missiles to be confirmed.
What's over there on Kick? Hey, lonesome traveler over on Kick. How you doing?
Will be acknowledged by North Korea. So it's not yet clear how this exercise between Washington, Pyongyang, and Seoul will unfold while military exercises continue. And it makes a big difference not only on the Korean Peninsula, but for neighbors like China and Japan here in Asia too.
As the Texas Democrat Talarico continues to poll.
I'm worried that we're talking about North Korea again. I told you, as soon as the war started, I should say, in Ukraine, that day, I'm like, all right, next is the Gulf states, and they went to war immediately. Like a few months later, shit started popping off over there, and I'm like, and I said, first it's going to be the Middle East, and then it's going to be Asia, and you'll see we'll have little skirmishes all over right now because Russia's invading Ukraine. It's the same thing all over again. We've seen this movie before.
Neck and neck against Republican Ken Paxton in that state's Senate contest.
Yeah, I'm seeing your messages, bro. Banu Martinez, Banu. Hey, Banu. Can everyone say hi to Banu, please? They're over on Kick. Sorry, Banu, but most people are over on YouTube. But I mean, I'm streaming to 4 platforms right now. Love my Kick viewers, though. Don't forget to hit that like button, all right? I see you there, honey. You could see it on the screen. You could see your name pop up on the screen.
Republicans are preparing to flood the race with cash from the pro-Trump billionaire Elon Musk. Wires report, according to officials, Musk is expected to spend around $100 million to $200 million in the midterms with a focus on voter turnout in key races, including Texas. Musk's planned cash injection could be a boon for the scandal-ridden Paxton, who's been vastly outraised by Tallarico. According to the latest FEC filings, Tallarico...
This guy's going to try to buy the fraudster the election in Texas. Poor Tallarico.
...has raised $69 million compared to Paxton's $9 million. A spokesperson for Musk's America PAC declined to comment when Wired asked about the group's spending plans. The Texas State Representative James Tallarico is the Democratic nominee for Senate in Texas. He joins me now. Good to see you again, sir.
Let's see.
Thank you for being on the show tonight.
Thanks for having me.
Let's start with this whole idea that the richest man in the world is funneling money against you in your race. He has specific interest in Texas, business interests, and reasons why he doesn't care to have you as Texas's representative in the Senate. But how do you feel about that, and how do you plan to campaign around a massive injection of money that's about to show up in your state?
Well, billionaire mega donors like Elon Musk are terrified of the movement that we're building in Texas because we are bringing working people together.
Would you like to play a game? Have you ever seen war games? Of course I like playing games. I love games. I play chess obsessively. I am a chess addict. I am addicted to chess. I cannot stop. But I do like games. I love games. There's a place near my house that's called the Empire Board Game something. Empire Board Game Gallery, maybe? I forget what it's called. They call it something. And I see people. You're allowed to go in there and play any game you want and stuff, and have a little drink or whatever. I really want to do it, but I got to go by myself. It's weird. Do you like games? Would you like to play a game? Thermonuclear war. I like Trump, so fuck off. Well, you're a moron. You're a moron. You like Trump. If you like Trump, you're an idiot.
Together across all the divides in our politics, across party, across race, across gender and religion and culture, because the real fight in this country is not left versus right, it's top versus bottom. All of us are getting screwed, whether we're a little more conservative or a little more progressive. None of us can afford groceries, none of us can afford gas or utilities or health insurance, because billionaires like Elon Musk have rigged this economy against us, have rigged this political system against us. And he sees the momentum that we're building on the ground. We have 59,000 people signed up to volunteer. We have shattered grassroots fundraising records, all without taking a dime from corporate PACs. And I think Elon Musk has taken note. He sees that we are building something truly special. And so the way we're going to overcome this is regular people chipping in $5, $10, $15 at a time. And anyone watching can go to jamestallarico.com and sign up to volunteer or sign up to donate so that we can overcome this big money. Big money is powerful, but it's nothing compared to people power.
It's nothing compared to the power of the people! The power of the people! The people united will never be defeated. Banu Martinez has a wonderful message for all of you. I like your stream. You deserve follow. Yes, please follow, like, subscribe, do all the things that you're supposed to do on the internet, please. Thank you so much for being here. You're a beautiful human being, and I love you. Consider becoming a Sky City Rebel. Sky City Rebels get extra content, extra streams, and extra love in the chat. Thank you so much for being here.
I heard you saying the other day that...
This is the #1 news reaction show on YouTube. My name is Skyjack Morgan, in your face.
And Beto O'Rourke came real close against Ted Cruz. You know, Ted Cruz was a rough candidate. Ted Cruz doesn't hold a candle to Ken Paxton. I mean, I got to say, in all of my reporting, and this is not a bias here. I love Texas and I love all sorts of Texans. That guy's something else.
Ken Paxton makes Ted Cruz look like a statesman. This is truly the most corrupt politician in Texas, one of the most corrupt in the country. And I think in this election, we have the opportunity to bring people together, not as Democrats or Republicans, but as Texans, to defeat the most corrupt politician in our state. And if we can do that in Texas, then we have a model for how to bring Americans together to defeat this entire corrupt system.
So I'm having conversations with people like you, Democrats who have a good chance of winning in states that have traditionally been Republican or in recent years at least have voted for Donald Trump. And I've had the conversation with Roy Cooper, and last night I had it with David Jolly. And there is some indication that when things are going badly for Republicans, particularly as they are now because of the cost of living and this war that we were told we weren't going to get involved in wars like this, Democrats have a few go-tos. And
You're playing board games in Indiana? That's rad. Board games are fun. I miss playing board games. I like to play board games. I'm thinking about going to that board game place. I know they have like an open play thing. But man, I should go. I forget what day they do their stuff. I got to look it up. There's always people at the board game place on Route 66. It's nuts. I don't really want to get involved in a whole fucking AD&D campaign, though. You know what I'm saying? I don't want to get involved with a whole AD&D campaign, the Hellfire Club and all that shit. That's something like I did when I was a kid. It was fun, but man, it's cool. If you're into it, that's great. I just like AD&D for grown-ups. I don't know. It's just not for me. It's just not for me. I love it. I think it's not because I don't like it. It's because I don't want to spend the amount of time it requires. Too much investment.
Georgia Senator Jon Ossoff is facing fresh backlash for a comment that he made that really...
Ossoff. Oh, this is great. Have you guys seen this? They scream at each other. CNN, sparks fly on CNN.
Got under MAGA skin this week. You'll remember Ossoff said that President Trump would rather travel with his close personal aide, Natalie Hart, than execute his job
Yeah, AD&D. What do you call it? It's Advanced Dungeons and Dragons. What do you call it?
as commander-in-chief. But some on the left, Scheer and others, think it was a step too far. For example, Barack Obama's former advisor and our colleague here, David Axelrod, who said those two words, with Natalie, seemed gratuitous and unnecessary. He added that they distracted and detracted from the power of the message. Keith, is Axelrod onto something?
Of course not. I don't agree with him. I mean, yes, you could say that the words are gratuitous and unnecessary. I'll agree with him on that. But did it distract? No, because we are talking now about Jon Ossoff's race, and it allows us to talk about the fact that Jon Ossoff was making the larger point that Donald Trump, as we mentioned before, is not focused on any of the issues that the American people are concerned about. He's focused on everything else, including his personal comfort on Air Force One or whatever the Air Force One happens to be on, rather than focusing on jobs and affordability and healthcare and things that the American people
Is that real? Are you tugging my nut? No, it's going to be Sparks Fly. Watch. This is an interesting. I've seen so many clips from this. This is the longer form, but like I've seen so many clips of them arguing on this little exchange right here.
That it's sexist, right? Which is the big argument, right? If you're going to take that position, you better also be criticizing the way Donald Trump talks about women's appearances and looks on a regular basis, right? So I'm happy for someone to say, look, I think it was inappropriate, I think it was sexist, but you better also be saying that about Donald Trump if I'm even going to take you seriously.
Scott?
I expect Ossoff to criticize Donald Trump. I expect every Democrat running for president to criticize Donald Trump. What I thought was appalling about this is that Harp is not a public figure. She's not a household name. Nobody.
What the fuck are you talking about? Harp isn't a public figure. Of course Harp is a public figure. What are you talking about? Harp's not a public figure. Natalie Harp is 100% a public. She's a public employee. What are you talking? She works for the government. She's a public figure. She does speak. I just played the speech 2 hours, well now 2 3/4 hours ago. We even played the speech in 2020 where she was going off about how Donald Trump is the richest man in the world because he gives so much. He's just like George Bailey in It's a Wonderful Life.
He knows who she is. And when he injected her into this, he knew what he was doing, which is punching down on someone who's effectively defenseless.
Doesn't Donald Trump do that all the time?
She's defenseless? She's the president's right-hand man.
I mean, he's doing it right now while we're here. Guys, there are no rules anymore. Donald Trump broke all of them. Rob Reiner dies. Donald Trump cheers his death. There are no rules anymore. Okay, there are no rules anymore. You might not like it. Donald Trump is the king of trolls. What is that the best trolls can't take incoming. I don't care who they are.
Is she a troll?
But they can't. No, but Trump is. Okay.
I know, but he didn't insult Trump. He insulted
but the right
female.
But the right.
She's a White House staff.
She can't defend herself, and she's a female. Do you remember when that wonderful woman Mika from Joe Scarborough's wife? Donald Trump said that she had blood coming out of her face because she had so much work done. Do you remember when Donald Trump said that Megyn Kelly was a fakie? She had a bunch of blood all over her nose because of her nose job. Remember when Donald Trump said that women can't be a 10 if they don't have huge tits? Remember that? Do you remember that? Remember that? You remember that? Fucking Donald Trump. They're attacking women. Oh, Jon Ossoff attacked a woman. No, he didn't. He said that Donald Trump is more concerned with going on little trips with Natalie Harp than he is the people of the United States of America or the war in Iran. I can't remember which. Like, he's more concerned with White House renovations and going on little trips with Natalie Harp. How does that attack her?
Not take any the right cannot take any
Here's the deal. It's not the right, and it's not Trump. It's a single defenseless woman.
She's not defenseless. Caitlin Collins asks a real question, and Trump demeans her every single solitary day.
Let me go ahead and just play it.
It's true. It's so true. Caitlin Collins, she never smiles. Listen, Piggy, quiet Piggy. That's so true. If you're a black woman, then he'll say, like, "Who do you know more black people? Do you know them? Do you know the Black Caucus? I want to know. Maybe you can introduce me." Remember that shit? shit where during the pandemic, she asked something about the Black Caucus in Congress, and he's like, do you know them? Can you give me their contact info? The fuck? She took off her mask and she was like, what the hell did this guy just say? Damn.
Because there's just such a long history of this. Trump punching down, insulting women. Let's just play it.
Never complaining about it.
You call women you don't like fat pigs, dogs, slobs, and disgusting animals.
Listen to his fans laughing.
Your Twitter account.
Only Rosie O'Donnell.
But what we want to do is to replenish the Social Security Trust Fund.
You are the worst reporter. No wonder CNN has no ratings because of people like you. You know, she's a young woman. I don't think I've ever seen you smile. I've known you for 10 years. I don't think I've ever seen a smile.
I'm asking about your victims, your child victims on Epstein Island. Am I supposed to smile while asking about the women you raped?
Well, I'm asking you about survivors of Jeffrey Epstein.
Yeah, I'm asking you about survivors of Jeffrey Epstein. Should I smile? Should I smile when I ask you about the survivors of Jeffrey Epstein, you creep? God damn. Quiet piggy.
Quiet piggy. I mean, Scott, Dan's question was pretty straightforward. If you're going to be outraged over traveling on a plane with Natalie, are you going to be outraged over all those things?
I do not believe in demeaning women in any way, number one.
Bullshit.
Number two,
So did the president demean women, and was that unacceptable?
The issue I have with this
Are you outraged or not about that?
The issue I have with this is Natalie Harp is not a public figure. She has no ability
to be honest.
You're not answering the question.
Democrats.
You're avoiding the question again, Scott. You continuously distract and avoid that.
By the way, you have no idea how loud this is.
But Scott, listen.
You have no idea.
It's so loud. You guys are so loud. You're so out of control. This fucking guy, I love that. I wish that I was white enough to have the whole like white man face. Indubitably. I don't know. I can never do that. This guy's got the perfect, this look, this face, this fucking face, the face only a mother can love. I don't even think his mom loves him. God damn it. Because he hates women so much. His mom is like, oh, Jesus.
How dishonest you are.
It has nothing to do with Natalie. She is being a defenseless.
If you want to defend her, I'm not going to.
Just to be clear, hold on a second.
What do you think, Lydia?
Hold on a second.
You're a Republican or conservative woman.
Just to be
What do you
clear.
think? You were asked the question.
Hold on a second. Just to be clear, I think the idea of continually describing a 35-year-old woman as somebody who has no agency and is defenseless and is just a victim, that is kind of demeaning.
That's right. She's a fucking grown-up. Natalie Hart is 35 years old. At what point do we stop infantilizing women, too? She wasn't even attacked. John Ossoff hasn't attacked her. Not John Ossoff hasn't attacked her. I mean, I have.
But the second thing is, Scott, you are so concerned about that, but you have not expressed any concern over Trump's repeated demeaning of all kinds of other women who are just simply doing their jobs.
Including our host. He attacked our host here.
I'm disappointed you don't remember this, but during the president's first term, you actually got into it with him on the South Lawn, and we did a show together, and I said, I don't think that's good. He should have talked to you that way. And you don't remember. But the bottom line is, the fact that you won't defend Harp here is
what about all these different examples? You are so good at turning this episode away from the reality of what you just said, Scott.
It's now more decibels.
See, you're right. It's not just women, though. It's also black people. White guys like Scott Jennings, conservative white people like saying that black people are loud. They love that shit. They do. Although, you know, go watch a movie in a black movie in a black neighborhood in a movie theater. Something about black culture. They do like to talk in the movies. I don't know what that is. Not everybody, but go watch a movie in a black neighborhood in a movie theater, and you will find a lot of talking going on, a lot of yelling at the screen and shit. It's fun. I think it's great. I think it's great. I think it's good. Positive. I like people that yell at the screen and shit. It's just not what white people do. I don't know. I always thought it was great. I went to go see Friday Part 2 in Harlem. I think I was in Harlem, someplace in New York. I was visiting, and it was bonkers. I also saw Spawn in Norwalk, and I was like one of the only white people in the audience, and it was hilarious. It was fantastic. It made the movie 10 times better.
I know you're playing to the audience here, but Scott, you're still on the subject.
Personal space?
Hold on.
Yeah.
Scott, you easily could have said in this very same way that I denounce what John Ossoff said. I also denounce all the things that Donald Trump has said. You didn't say that.
I literally just said I don't believe in demeaning
So I will
just said,
say,
I don't
I will
believe
just
in
say that you are not holding him to the same standard that you hold John Ossoff. You have a lot to say about John Ossoff and very little to say about Donald Trump.
Because he's
and
like
his
a defenseless
treatment of women.
What about Ruby Freeman?
The president of the United States does that on a regular basis to women.
So she deserves government workers, and Donald Trump attacked. What did you say about that? What did you say about that, Scott?
Okay, nobody is saying that, first of all, that she deserves anything.
You seem to be defending.
But the only thing that we're saying is that if you're going to be mad at John Ossoff over saying he likes to the president likes to travel with her, you should be mad about the president calling a reporter doing her job piggy.
Be consistent, Scott.
That's a pretty simple thing. It's not controversial. It's pretty simple. We got to.
It's just consistency, Scott. No.
Takes to be a Democrat. Drag defenseless women through the mud.
Yeah, Democrats drag defenseless women through the mud. You fucking loser. You fucking loser. You know what's funny? Graham Plattner got thrown to the wolves because they finally found out. Like I said, first of all, I hated Graham Plattner from day one. But finally, when they figured out that he was treating women badly, they ixnayed the Atler play, whatever, Latner play. They got rid of him. The 86th Plattner. If Donald Trump is convicted of rape, the Republicans are like, we like him even more because that's a lot. She's a lying bitch. She's a lying bitch. Graham Plattner has no political future, not from the Democrats anyway, because the Democrats at least throw their people. I remember when Al Franken had a picture of himself making a joke during his USO tour before he was senator, and he resigned. He resigned. And the picture wasn't even bad.
You were not the victim here. You were the perpetrator of Donald Trump's fraud on the American people. So
all right, I don't know why we have to insist on. I don't know why we have to insist on describing Natalie, again, a 35-year-old woman. She's a government employee, as a defenseless
she has no microphone.
Woman.
Nor does Ruby Freeman or Shane Moss.
She, like everybody else,
doesn't she run
is doing their job. She doesn't deserve.
That's a pretty big microphone.
Sorry, if I got a list, Jared, of every female who worked in your office and read their first names and said, "Gee whiz, Jared, why are you spending so much time with that lady?" You'd be pissed right now.
Scott, hold on.
You'd be pissed.
Do I think what happened with the Natalie thing, is that how we should talk? No, I don't think that's how politics should be. But what you should understand is we talk like that now because of Trump.
Donald Trump.
That's right.
Thank you. Case closed.
That's how we got here. That's how we fucking got here, was because of all this bullshit with Donald Trump. Donald Trump shitting on Hillary, lock her up, shitting on Rosie O'Donnell, shitting on Kathy Griffin, shitting on any woman that he could find, shitting on fucking Pam Bondi and what's-her-face, Janine Pirro. Even now, he's shitting on his own women. How about just shitting on all of his wives when he fucking cheated on all of them? All of his wives. Donald Trump cheated on all of his wives. All of them.
Do you disagree with that?
No, and the American people know it.
I believe you shouldn't demean women, and I don't think defenseless women in politics should be drugged through the mud.
Unless Donald Trump does it. Be consistent, Scott Jennings. The American people see your inconsistency.
All right. Listen, I mean, President Trump, I think...
Not a negative word, Ossoff. What do you think?
Why are you trying to change the subject?
I'm curious.
Why are you not criticizing Donald Trump?
Honestly, Scott, I think that if your position is that he was making an innuendo, I don't think it's good to make innuendo. But I also think it is worse to actually use insults, to call women stupid, to call them piggy, to say that they are fat, whatever it is. Those things... actual, straight up, direct insults at professional women doing their jobs. I think most people think that's actually worse.
I think so too. I said I don't believe in demeaning women. I don't know what your problem is. Didn't you work for Bill Clinton? I mean, my God, we know how.
Bill Clinton, 30 fucking years ago. Bill Clinton. And by the way, Bill Clinton should probably be in jail. He should probably be in jail. Who the fuck cares? Bill Clinton. What about Bill Clinton though? Didn't you work for Bill Clinton? Bill Clinton? Bill Clinton? So you're saying that Donald Trump, it's okay for Donald Trump to call women bitches and piggy and all these things that he calls them because Bill Clinton didn't do it out in the open.
Do I defend Bill Clinton?
Honestly,
I have not defended him. You just sit up. Scott Jennings is the master of deflection of the American people. He changed the subject here from Donald Trump to Bill Clinton because he doesn't want to talk about Donald Trump. He doesn't want to.
It was pretty bad.
He doesn't want to criticize his boss.
It's how Democrats think of women.
His boss, yeah, his boss. Democrats think of women as what? As what? She is spending an odd amount of time with Donald Trump. Her leaving little love notes for Donald Trump is creepy and weird.
Women in politics.
He's so good at changing the subject, but he will not criticize his good friend, Donald Trump.
John Ossoff has really done great job of getting a lot of attention this week and stirring things up at the White House. And that's
that
one of the, well, look, I mean, in Donald Trump's world, in Donald Trump's world, it kind of is a little bit of a
Well, then he's right about Donald Trump then too.
All right.
Jesus. She's a poor defenseless girl. Where's Melania? Did you see Melania? She came out. She came out. She made an appearance. What's up, Melissa Sweetser? What's the deal and how you feeling there, Melissa Sweetser? How you doing there? You little Sweetser there. How you doing? You feeling good? You looking good? Where's Melania? She's counting her coin. She's counting the Melania coin.
We'll continue that later at my place. Yeah. Good evening, everyone. So yesterday, Bill Clinton turned 80 years old. He celebrated it surrounded by all the people he loves and Hillary.
Donald Trump is 80 years old and his wife fucking hates him.
Thought this was nice. To celebrate, he unwrapped an intern. And when it came time to blow out the candles, he made a wish, but to his chagrin, Hillary was still breathing. As his sexual misconduct.
Remember when Donald Trump threw his wife down a flight of stairs and buried her on his golf course?
Probe heats up.
Ex-wife.
Agents served Eric Swalwell with a search warrant and seized his cell phone. Eric, of course, responded to the confrontation just as you'd expect, with an erection.
Ew.
Former comedian Kathy Griffin says she was hurt that Rosie O'Donnell didn't invite her on when she was guest hosting Jimmy Kimmel Live. It seems network execs feared if they had them on together, people would think they were watching a rerun of Alien vs. Predator.
What?
True. The California political candidate is accused of election fraud for listing a dive bar as her home address. In her defense, that's where she spends 23 hours a day.
You know what's funny? I remember when I was in politics and my candidate was like, never fucking take a picture of me if I have a drink in my hand. It doesn't matter if it's water. I do not care. Never allow them to take a picture of me with a drink in my hand. Why? Because no matter what, they will turn. If you drink one fucking drop of alcohol in public, everyone will be like, oh, he's an alcoholic. Look at him. He's He's a drunk. What a drunk.
ABC said the FCC forced The View to book far fewer political candidates as guests. Meanwhile, the EPA begged them to cut back on methane emissions.
Get it? Because they're cows?
According to a new study, there is an increase in deadly car crashes every time Taylor Swift drops a new album. It's true. Evidently, people take their hands off the wheel to cover their ears. Science. Finally, a Florida woman accused of scamming senior citizens out of money was arrested and discovered hiding $3,200 in her vagina. In her defense, that's the last place anyone would ever look.
Well, it's only 32 $100 bills. 32 $100 bills in my butthole. I think I could do it. I think I could put 32 $100 bills in my butthole. I think I could do it. Challenge accepted. Send your $3,200 bills to me right now, and I will try to send them up my bumhole. I feel like, up a vagina is probably even easier. I feel you're feeling all right. I've been really sick. I just got back into action. I've been going live just the last 2 days. This is only my second day back, and so I'm getting acclimated. Not completely yet. I'm not totally adjusted to the altitude yet, and I am still in pain. I'm about 90% right now. Thank you so much for asking. I really appreciate it. Thank you so much. 3,200 of these. I think I could do it. 3,200. $3,200 bills. That's only like a stack that big. Wrap it up, stick it in. I don't know. I would do it. If I needed to hide $3,200 bills and I had a vagina, I would hide it in my vagina. What could go wrong? It's better than hiding coke or something like that up there. People hide all sorts of stuff up in their hoo-has and their bum holes. People do all that.
It was all small bills, too. All right. So last weekend, thousands flocked to London's Trafalgar Square to mourn the death of a professor. Jason Arday was hailed as the youngest black professor in Cambridge history, highly respected scholar with impressive credentials. Until we found out his resume had more padding than Dylan Mulvaney's bra. He plagiarized tons of academic work, fudged his resume like crazy. Even crazier, he claimed he ran 30 marathons in 35 days, some with a broken leg. He raised a non-existent $5 million for charity, lied about having 2 brain tumors, spending months in a coma, and claimed he couldn't read or write until he was 18. He even claimed he survived testicular cancer despite having the balls to present these fantasies as truth. Basically, his whole life was as believable as Liz Warren beating General Custer at Little Bighorn.
Remember when Elizabeth Warren said that she's part Indian, and then she was open about it. She did the 23andMe and found out that wasn't true, and so she openly said, actually, it turns out I do not have Indian blood. It turns out, and then everyone makes fun of her about it. Even now, they still make, and Donald Trump calls her Pocahontas. Ain't that funny? Ain't that funny?
Now, when the truth came out, he resigned. But not after sicking his lawyers and police on reporters who covered his deception.
I won't be happy about the Tates until they find one at the bottom of a lake. They're going to find one of them hanged. One of those guys is going to kill themselves. I guarantee you. One of the Tate brothers. Which Tate brother do you think will kill himself first? Let's do that. That's going to be the next poll. Hold on. Let me make that a poll. I need to make that a poll. We're going to make that a poll first. Start a poll. Who will off himself first? Andrew or Tristan? One of them is definitely going to be found at the end of a rope for sure. Here, please vote on it right now. The quiet one, you think the quiet one, he's not completely into it. You think Tristan's maybe a little bit like, oh, I don't know, boss. I don't know if we should be doing this, boss. I don't know, boss. I don't know. You only know of one of them, then vote for the one you know.
And that crowd blames, obviously, racism. Which reminds me of another martyred soul who had gatherings in his honor, George Floyd. Cause of death? Racism. It certainly wasn't the lethal amount of fentanyl in his system, or the norfentanyl, or the meth.
Why do the vast majority of Democratic supporters have this sense of moral superiority? I believe it turns a lot of fence sitters away from the party. I don't know. I'm not a Democrat, but I do know, but I'm not a Democrat. I think the reason why a lot of Democratic supporters have this sense of moral superiority is just like when you see I'm sure that the lemming who doesn't go over the cliff with all the other lemmings is like, stupid assholes. I'm sure that they have a little bit of smugness. I think it's smugness more than anything, because they see that all of you have been conned by Donald Trump and that it's hurting you. They see that it's hurting farmers, and they see it's hurting rural folk, and they know it's you who put him in office mostly. So yeah, of course they have an air of superiority, but it's not really superiority. It's smugness, I think. They're smug. They're like, I didn't fall for it. Well, of course they didn't fall for it. I mean, half the Democrats are just as zombie fucking cultish as the Republicans are. They just love the blue jersey instead of the red jersey. But, so they think that they're special somehow because they didn't follow Donald Trump down the path of iniquity to the to the everlasting bonfire. But I think that I'm sure that there were people who followed Hitler, and there were a bunch of people who were like, I never followed him. You imbeciles fell for that shit. I didn't fall for that shit. And they probably were pretty smug. I bet you they were really smug. You idiots fell for that Hitler line? Jesus Christ, you morons. So I think that's why. Also, as bad as the Democrats are, and they are very bad, Democrats are horrible, but, Democrats, they're not as bad. It's like, you're stuck between the Democrats and the bigots. That's your choice now? That's your choice. The Democrats or the bigots. Don't worry, they're still going to make sure all the money goes to the corporations and the banks. But you have a choice between the Democrats, who are going to take all your money and give it to the banks and the corporations, or the Republicans, who are going to take all your money, give it to the banks and the corporations, and also do a lot of racisms. So, they're smug about it. Of course they're smug about it. Yeah. Yeah. Is supporting killing civilians and protecting pedos moral superiority? That's what the Republicans do. That's what MAGA is, right? I mean, they support the pedophile Donald Trump. Donald Trump is a pedophile. He's admitted to it on tape many times. And he kills civilians, right? I mean, like Alex Preddy, Renee Good. He kills civilians, 50-something people in ICE custody who were here legally. I've watched Andrew Target practice, and it's not a pretty sight. Oh, really? That's it. Kind of like anti-vaxxers who have all the right to be smug now. I guess some of them do, right? I mean, it depends on why they were anti-vax. Not all anti-vaxxers are created equal, are they? I mean, there's a lot of stupid anti-vaxxers. I mean, I think that, for example, I think you're stupid if you don't think that vaccines help, but I think that you're also stupid if you just blindly do what the government tells you. You see, I'm kind of a weirdo. I don't think you should just do whatever the government tells you to do. I don't like the government telling adults what to do and having mandates and stuff like this. So you know how that's a complicated thing, but not all anti-vaxxers, they're not a monolith. They're all different. I know anti-vaxxers who are anti-vaxxers because they're vegan. So, it's up to you. All sorts of different people. Play the tape of it. We've played it so many times. He said, I'll just give you the greatest hits. He told Howard Stern that he wouldn't date 12. 12 is the lowest he would go because he wouldn't. 13 is the lowest he would go because he doesn't want to be seen with a 12-year-old. He said that he walked into the Miss USA pageant, Teen USA pageant, and looked at their beautiful naked bodies because he liked to. He said that his infant daughter has the legs of his wife and she's so beautiful, but we don't know if she has the tits yet. He told a 9-year-old, oh, isn't she cute? I'll be dating her in 10 years. I gotta wait. That's all pedo stuff, man. All chomo stuff, big time. He also happened to be best friends with the most famous chomo in modern history, Jeffrey Epstein's best friends with the guy. Spent tons of time. He went to his wedding and drew him little pictures. It's very cute. You're an enigma. Enigmas never age. Jeffrey. So if you don't think he's a chomo, I'm sorry. It's like if you support Donald Trump, you support the chomocracy of America. And you could say, whoa, what about the Democrats? Yeah, the Democrats too. Fuck them. I don't care. I'm not a Democrat, asshole. But Donald Trump is king of the chomos. There's a reason why he doesn't release the Epstein files, why he breaks the law every day and not releases he doesn't release the Epstein files. He does not release the unredacted Epstein files. Why? Because he's hiding shit that he's done. That's why. That's it. That's all. No big deal. You're iffy on your mRNA, your mitochondrial ribonucleic acid. You're iffy on it. Get the vaccines. Don't get the vaccines. I don't give a shit. I do think that children should get it if they're going to go to school. But hey, you know what? What are you going to do? What are you going to do? Let's all forget. I do think it's the government's job to educate people about what vaccines are, how they work, why you should get them, and not just force you to do them. Not just force you to do it because you're an idiot. But unfortunately, in America, the government wants you stupid so that you'll keep voting Republican. You'll keep voting against your own interests. You will vote against your own interests because the government has failed to educate you. In fact, they've miseducated you. There was a famous book called The Miseducation of the Negro. And I feel like they read that book and they're like, let's miseducate all of them. Why did we stop at the Negroes? Let's miseducate everybody. Why are we stopping at the blacks?
Or the heart failure caused by the fentanyl meth, or the drugs swallowed during the initial encounter. And even though the medical examiner said the fentanyl was at fatal level, that still wasn't the killer. No, it was the soft tissue injuries and concussions associated with pressure of a white race.
You bigger fish to free, you mean?
Cop. You see the similarities. You're not supposed to look at Floyd's circumstances and behavior that led him to his death any more than you would with the professor. How dare you notice the lies or the enablers who fed him? Because it's your fault, not his, for noticing. He was just doing the job that he was hired for, the magical minority that made white libs feel virtuous. And pointing out his behavior, that would be racist, even though it's the opposite of racist to judge someone by their behavior. If you behave like a jackass, there's no one to blame but yourself. Don't I know that?
Yeah, so if Greg Gutfeld behaves like a jackass and a black man behaves the same way as Greg Gutfeld, and you give Greg Gutfeld a slap on the wrist and you shoot the black man who's acting in the same manner, that's called racism. That's it. That's all. Same thing with a white man maybe walked out of a liquor store not looking okay. The white cop handles him very differently than he does a black man. He murders the black man. Derek Chauvin murdered George Floyd, but if George Floyd were white, he'd be alive today. That's it. Doing the same thing. If George Floyd were white, he would be alive today.
But what is racist is what the woke think of black people. You need
What?
no experience or skills, because you're not just special, you're special ed. They're convinced blacks need their divine intervention. They have less faith in blacks' skills than the KKK. And blacks being a permanent victim makes whites permanent heroes. But imagine at the hospital, someone with no medical expertise claims he's the chief of surgery, and we just have to believe him because he said so. Complain that so-called doctor tried to remove your spleen with a pizza cutter? Nice try, racist. So I don't blame our Dave for his death. I blame Cambridge and the media who indulge his delusions, which once again raises a simple question. Does it matter who you say you are? You have so-called good-hearted people who will say, hey, if it's not hurting anyone, who cares if Mike says he's a Mary? Oh, what's that? Mike offed himself yesterday? Oh, those transphobes. But when a person dies from the misery caused by the gulf between fantasy and reality, the enablers don't get to share in the sorrow, and they certainly do not get to curse those who refuse to play along. A person committed
Dude, has Greg Gutfeld had a stroke or something?
suicide because he was granted a lifestyle based on a lie protected by a mob. It reminds me of a guy who came to my shows and said, I should write for you. All my friends say I'm the funniest guy they know. I said, don't believe them.
Well, I mean, there's a 9 out of 10 chance he's funnier than you, Greg.
Thing to get you to shut up. Yet out of pity, I hired him anyway. But you know, it's why Simon Cowell was doing God's work, telling people who've been told for years that they have a voice of an angel, that they really have the voice of a hell's angel. He was trying to save those people from themselves. Someone had to do it. No one did it for the professor, especially those so-called mourners. And they should be sobbing, not just for the death of the professor, but for the death of truth.
It's just so embarrassing. Okay, he hates the trans. Great. You hate trans people. I love it. They do a little dance every time a trans person, anything bad happens to a trans person, anything bad happens to anybody in the minority, any minority, anything bad happens, they do a little dance. It's kind of funny. Imagine BET having like a black news thing like Gutfeld, and they just did that about white people all the time. Kill Whitey, kill Whitey, kill Whitey, kill Whitey. How do you think that'd go over? How do you think that'd go over? The Iran embassy claims Caroline Leavitt resigned because of the decoy plane betrayal. Man, I told you, I knew this was it. Now Iran is saying it. I said that day one. I hope you remember. I said it day one. Do you remember? I said that Caroline Leavitt is resigning because Donald Trump left this new mother on a plane that he thought was going to be bombed. That's what he did. A brand new mom. A young mom, she's still in her 20s. He's like, gotta get out this plane, it's gonna get bombed. You stay right where you are, Caroline. I mean, what the fuck? This is, of course, a huge betrayal. It's an embarrassment. Of course she quit. She finally saw what the truth is about Donald Trump. Yep. President Donald Trump left her on the plane he evacuated in Turkey to evade an alleged threat from Iran, but it's unlikely. The ambassador of Iran in South Africa posted a photo of Leavitt on X Saturday and commended her resignation, writing, "Betrayal is awful, but when your boss betrays you and sends you in danger when he escapes in a food truck, you lose all hope for camaraderie." Yep. You can't expect much from a murderer, is what they said. You can't expect much from a murderer like Donald Trump. It's true. Donald Trump is a murderer. Social media conspiracists have speculated this week that Leavitt resigned over the incident when Trump hid in a catering truck. Man, I knew this was the case. I'm completely convinced. It didn't take the Iranians to convince me. I already thought so. Whitey's on the moon. A rat done bit my cousin Nell, but Whitey's on the moon. She knew the truth. She just believed she was different, like most of like Pam Bondi did. Right? She knew the truth. She just thought that I'm different. I'm the good girls. I'm the good girl. If I really double down and hold his water, he'll probably not kill me. She probably feels like she's in the Matrix. She probably does. When's your first in real life guest, Sky? I'm actually thinking about this new project that's like an interview thing. It'll be recorded. It won't be live though. I want to do live streaming with a live guest, but man, I don't know how to set it up, and it's going to cost money, and I'm like really frugal and stingy right now. So, I should visit Toronto. I've been to Toronto. It's now India. No, it's not. What are you talking about? Toronto? You love Toronto. Toronto's great. What are you talking about? It's India now? Okay. What the fuck is wrong with people?
While Americans love to reward good service, many are having second thoughts about the barrage of tip requests on practically everything. It seems that tipping screen pops up in just about every sale.
Are we tipping every single time that we go to a coffee shop?
I have become so good at pressing that no tip button.
I'm paying $50 for 2 drinks at a Phillies game. I'm not tipping.
Shoppers are being nudged to tip when ordering a sandwich, a single cup of coffee, even for things like tires.
I went to go get new tires on my truck, and they literally had the screen turn around and had the audacity to say, would you like to tip? And I said, no.
So is tipping out of control?
A little bit, yeah.
Although it's a custom that isn't going anywhere, people are pulling back on where, when, and how much
it
to
should.
tip. Restaurant technology
it should
platform
go away.
Top Menu says 40% of consumers are tipping less this year than last year because of tipping fatigue, tighter budgets, and rising prices, with 3.4% inflation over the past year.
If you go to an establishment and every other month the price for that same item or service goes up, you start to get fatigued there, and you have to make up for that. You can't just eat that all yourself.
There is also the anxious, somewhat guilty feeling as you stare at the large tip screen that appears before the required customer signature.
Do you feel like you're seeing like the tip screen more than you used to?
Yeah, definitely within the last 2 years, I'm seeing a lot more like.
I'm starting to only tip at places that I go regularly. Like I'll tip extra. I'll tip big when I know I'm coming back. But if I'm on the road, I'm in the middle of fucking nowhere and they're like, oh, here's your coffee. And it's like a black coffee. You didn't do shit. No, I'm not fucking tipping you for a black coffee.
iPad, would you like to tip?
As people cut back on tips, some consider the cost of the item.
When do you say no? When it's about like less than $20.
For others, it's about the service.
When it's less than 20. Oh, she's got a cap on it. Interesting.
If it's somebody working in like a sandwich shop and they make me a nice sandwich, then I might lay them a tip.
Yeah.
But if I'm just buying something like from a corner store, absolutely not.
It's not always comfortable to hit no tip, especially when an employee is watching and waiting for the sale to be completed.
Does it make you feel guilty not to give a tip?
Sometimes, yeah.
Top Menu says more than 56% of people don't typically tip at fast food spots, and 44% don't tip for fast casual. But most are tipping at sit-down restaurants, carry-out counters, and coffee shops.
I think about the people that rely on tips as a primary source of income, but also the more personalized I get. For example, your hairstylist, the people that you see on a more frequent basis, so you start to develop a more personal relationship. To me, that is where I put the extra dollar.
Yeah, if you've got personal, I know you for a while, yeah, I'll get you a tip.
All right, so if you do decide to tip, is like 20% still the standard?
15 to 20%. You just heard that guy talk about it. If it's somebody you're going to see again,
I'm always 23%. I always tip 23%.
Somebody you have a relationship with, you need to tip. You want to tip for good service, especially if it's something that's part of their pay and their salary. A candy bar at the corner store, I'm hitting no tip, and I don't feel badly about it. And we talked to a lot of men on the street and also a lot of experts who told us you don't have to feel guilty if you skip the tip, if it's just a kiosk or just the screen, the iPad screen. In many cases, it's just built into their payment software. It's not maybe even necessarily that the company's asking you.
Bullshit. That's a fucking lie. That's a fucking lie. I used to set up those payment softwares. I used to set that up, and that is a thing that you have a discussion before whether or not you want that screen. And they realized that if you put a tip line, it used to be a tip line. You could put a tip line on checks. Even back then, that was a choice, whether or not you want to put a tip line. And then it was like, do you want to put a tip screen? It changed. And we had those discussions like, okay, do you put the tip screen on the bar, but do you do it at the kiosk where they're just like turning around and grabbing food? Now we put it on there and they got tipped. They made a lot of money.
It's just how that's been presented. Just hit no.
Well, I wish that was curated a little bit better, like business to business.
agree.
Like so it's not in front of me. That's not to be in
This
there.
guy looks like Carson Daly. Is this Carson Daly?
I mean, there still are tip jars.
Is that Carson Daly? Is Carson Daly on the Today Show? Is Carson Daly on the Today Show now? Yes, he is. Carson Daly, holy shit. He looks like Carson Daly. Old Carson Daly versus young Carson Daly is like old Brendan Fraser and young Brendan Fraser. Why do they look so similar? Why does Carson Daly look more and more like Brendan Fraser as he gets older? What is that all about?
Out there too. Sometimes I feel like I'll put a few dollars in a tip jar because I feel like, hey, that person making my sandwich, they're splitting it. I can see who's going to get that money. But you can really tell from those Top Menu numbers that people they have inflation fatigue. They have, their budgets are stretched, and they feel like they're being asked to tip for things they weren't asked to tip on a few years ago. Tires, for example, or just a pre-made sandwich, behind the counter. Why are you tipping for that?
They're already resentful of paying $8 for coffee.
Exactly.
Which is airport stores.
If you're paying $8 for coffee, go fuck yourself. I pay like $2-3 for coffee. I get the cheap. I'm a cheap coffee date, honey. Take me out for coffee. I'm not gonna make you pay, baby doll. You're gonna get, if you want that $7 fucking latte, you pay for it. I'm getting the black coffee. Okay, black coffee. Okay, black. Everything else, people don't even like coffee. They like coffee flavored beverages. They like all these dessert. They like dessert with caffeine is what they want. I get black, no cream, no sugar, baby doll.
Like sporting events, like you get a beer, it's like $15.
Yeah.
But to be clear, and Roker makes this point a lot. Like if you can afford to tip, you should be tipping. And what we don't want to see is the pendulum like swing back. You remember during the pandemic, we were all tipping for just about everything.
Absolutely. But I will say for restaurants and for hairstylists and things like that, people are tipping. People are still generous. That has not changed.
They might be paid better than my dental assistant, but that's the dentist's fault, man. The dentists are millionaires. Dentists are driving around with Ferraris. Fuck those dentists. They should pay their people more. Why the fuck do I care about the dental assistant? Fuck a dental assistant. I don't like dentists either. I hate dentists. I hate doctors. I hate all these guys that think they're gods.
They said that most people are tipping. They're tipping well at a restaurant where they see your server and they see your server hustling. Of course. And that's important.
All right. Chrissy, that was great. It was great.
Thank you.
Hey, thanks for watching. Don't
Oh God, Al Roker, you're still doing your thing, huh? Every time I check in on the Today Show, I'm always like, Al Roker, you're still doing it, huh? Nice.
Department shows Americans cut their spending in July by the biggest amount in more than a year. Retail sales fell 0.6% last month, following a slight gain.
I like my coffee like I like my women, strong, black, and wet.
In June, that drop
And bitter as
is
fuck.
raising concern among some economists about the resiliency of consumers as Americans respond to rising gas prices and lingering inflation. Joining me now is Heather Long. She is the chief economist at Navy Federal Credit Union. Heather, thank you so much for joining us. Really appreciate your time. Federal data also shows inflation declined slightly in July as gas and grocery prices slipped. When you look at figures like this, what are your biggest takeaways for everyday Americans?
I mean, it's tough out there, and you can see the fatigue from American consumers. Part of the reason the July data was so disappointing is that Amazon Prime Day and Target Circle deals and those Walmart Plus deals, they happened in June this year instead of July, so there was definitely less spending on electronics and some of those items that people try to scoop up on Prime Day. But if you really step back and look at the bigger picture, since the war in Iran started, inflation is outpacing wage growth. People are literally getting squeezed financially.
And shit's more expensive with these fucking tariffs.
In America, and you can see that there's been a pullback at the grocery store. More people are turning to credit cards and dipping into savings, and that's why the outlook is definitely for a little bit of a consumer slowdown heading.
Dude, that's so nice. I love that coffee nap. Oh man, I love that coffee nap. Oh man, I love that coffee nap. I think I'm part-time ADHD or something. I think I'm ADHD like every once in a while. Is that possible? Is that possible? Can someone look that up? Is it possible? I don't know if that's possible. But sometimes you drink a cup of coffee and I'm like, oh, time for nappy pie. Fucking great. It's the best sleep you'll get.
Into back to school and ultimately into the holidays.
Yeah, and usually when it comes time for a Prime Day, I hear a lot more people talking about it. I didn't hear.
Ooh, the money's better and no responsibilities. I love it. Good for her, man. Restaurant work is good. Restaurant work is rewarding. Except I'm gravel ground. I would work in a restaurant or a bar. Except I'm cowhawked. You know, I'm all fucked up. I can't work in that industry anymore because running miles on concrete floors and shit for 30 years almost fucked me up, man. Can't do it no more, son.
As much chatter around Prime Day this past summer. July's data also shows restaurant spending saw a slight increase. Families often cut back on eating out to save money. What do you make of that?
Yeah, I think there's some of it may have been the World Cup impacts, people going out to watch the final game. So I don't think people were surprised to see that number up a little bit. I think what's been interesting to watch is hobby spending. People spending on books, on sporting equipment, on chess sets.
People always spend money on their hobbies.
That's actually been one of the bright spots for the past year. I call it mini splurges. In this economy between the tariffs and the high gas prices, people need to do something to feel good about themselves. And so one of the encouraging stories is they're doing the book club. They're getting together to play the sports together to try to find some cheer.
Yeah, I'd like to see some data on how much parents are spending on Robux because there's a lot going into Robux in my household. But when it comes to school shopping, school is around the corner. Target, for example, says that 95% of its prices for school supplies are at or below last year's levels. What are your biggest concerns as we head into fall and holiday spending?
There's just no relief coming for households right now. And that's what's hard. You just see that people are already squeezed. You see gas prices. We've never had gas prices at $4 this late in the summer. Normally they start to fall a good bit. And that's just not happening right now. And so that's what really worries me is people have been stretched for a long time. And there's nothing else coming. The tax cuts have already happened. The tax refunds have already happened. Other than the stock market gaining a lot more, most middle class and moderate income Americans aren't going to be helped by that.
Right. Well, hopefully we see some sort of relief in the coming months. Heather, thanks so much for your time and insights. Really appreciate it.
Thank you.
Used to use two insoles on top of each other. Oh my god! I thought I should invest in Dr. Scholl's. I've spent so much fucking money on Dr. Scholl's over the years. So much money. I used to buy shitty shoes and then just rip out the footbed and put Dr. Scholl's because you could buy shitty shoes, plus Dr. Scholl's and be the same price as an expensive pair that you still have to put insoles in. And besides, you're gonna grind them all down anyway. Man, I went through shoes. Oh, goddamn. That industry ground me down. My legs and feet are shot for the rest of my life. Look at these.
These beagles don't know it, but their lives are about to change. There's this
These beagles just got rescued.
overwhelming sense of fear that permeates throughout this bus. That's why it's so quiet here. This little guy has been shaking for the last hour. They are the last of the beagles from Ridgeland Farms, a breeding facility in Blue Mountain,
Remember Ridgeland Farms? DXE went there and got them rescued. Remember that? Ridgeland Farms.
Wisconsin, that captured national.
You guys know about that. There they are. There's the DXE. They're going to go in and rob those farmers of their dogs.
Attention earlier this year when animal activists raided their property. The lab dog breeder had faced years of state regulatory scrutiny.
I just got tear gassed. Ha! They tear gassed us. America gasses its own people. America gasses its own people because they didn't want people torturing dogs to death.
Including alleged violations of state animal cruelty laws. It has denied violating state or federal law, and last month, to avoid prosecution, it agreed to surrender its license.
Our biggest fear, where they were going to be fire sailed out to the worst testing facilities. They'd already suffered enough.
Who wants to ride back in the lab? Is that you?
Lori Simmons is the founder of Big Dog Ranch Rescue. She spearheaded the effort to negotiate and pay for the release of more than 2,000
I kind of want one.
Last week, the final 155 were removed from the facility, and we were there to witness their first moments of freedom at a nearby farm.
Many of these beagles who've never been outside, never been on the grass before, never experienced fresh air and a breeze. But for every one of these, there are dogs like this who have a much harder time acclimating to freedom.
Each year, nearly 40,000 dogs are used in lab experiments across the U.S. for medical research, cosmetics.
And beagles are so cute too. Beagles are so docile and friendly and small because it makes it easier for them. They bred them that way to make it easier to train them to be tortured. It's easier to torture animals that are super nice. That's why cows are so nice. We bred them that way. We bred them to be nice and sweet. Same with chickens. Chickens are really sweet animals. We breed them that way so that it's easier to kill them.
And household products. Beagles are the test subject of choice for many of these experiments. And as they're checked by a veterinarian, we see why.
It struck me as I watched these vets doing their thing.
Look at this. Not 1 ounce of aggression during their shots and checkup.
They choose beagles because they're so forgiving. You hurt them one day and they're going to forgive you the next and let you do it all over again.
This is in service of us?
Yes, in service of us. We're not going to stop.
Well, in service of profit. They're not really in service. Most of the time that these things are curiosity experiments or, experiments for money or testing dog food or testing drugs or testing vape smoke to see what happens if you put a hood on their face and you pump it full of vape smoke. That stuff.
Every one of these dogs is out of a testing facility until this cruel practice is stopped.
Wisconsin inspectors investigated Ridgeland between 2024 and 20.
Oh no, they're farmers. They're producers. They produce them and torture them. That's what they do with these dogs. They train. What they do at Ridgeland was like train them to be test animals, and so they put these dogs, they put these things on their faces all day long, and they get used to it, and so that when they go to the lab, you can just latch the thing on their face, and they're ready for the experiments, so that the scientists don't have to waste their time.
2025 and identified 494 violations. And a circuit court judge found that there was probable cause to believe that Ridgeland had committed crimes under Wisconsin's animal cruelty laws. But the USDA, the federal agency charged with overseeing commercial dog breeders, cited just 4 non-critical violations for its dog breeding facility in the last 10 years. Ridgeland Farms is located in Representative Mark Pocan's Wisconsin district.
To me, that doesn't make any sense. But the hundreds of violations they had doing surgery without anesthesia, et cetera, to animals, those are not conditions that you're supposed to have.
Ridgeland Farms told CBS News that it had not violated state or...
Unfortunately, there's something like USDA agents. There's like 100 of them. There's even fewer now. But back in the day, there were like 100 when I was working for PETA, and they had to do all the zoos, all of the farms, all of these things, all of the testing facilities. USDA is supposed to watch out for these animals' welfare, and they don't because there just aren't enough of them. It's impossible for them to, not that they actually give a shit, but even if they did give a shit, there's not enough of them to do anything about it.
Federal law, and the state claims were wrong. They said the USDA was the leading authority and that federal inspectors found only non-critical issues at their facility.
I think what we saw here was a lapse in how they looked at a facility, because when you have that amount of state violations.
All right, we all know the story, but it's sad, you know. But at least these little guys, they got some help. It's a heartwarming story. They're out, they're free. The last 100 or so, 150 or whatever, beagles are free from Ridgeland Farms. So it's a victory, you know. I mean, people still see animals as products. They still see animals as objects. You know, dogs are cute, so I guess they care about them a little bit more. But cows and chickens and pigs, they want to live and breathe and love and be loved just as much as beagles do. And pigs, you know, pigs are even smarter than fucking beagles. But the same people saying it's so horrible what we did to these beagles, they'll go and they'll eat a pork sandwich or go to Chick-fil-A or whatever. It really is disgusting. The hypocrisy, all because corporations tell people what to eat and you do what they tell you. And I say, fuck you. I'm not going to do what you tell me. Fuck you. I won't do what you tell me.
It's tonight in Pasadena after neighbors say a mailman attacked a beloved peacock, causing serious injuries to that bird. Security video captured the disturbing incident, and tonight
the mailman, the federal government, federal agent attacks beloved peacock.
Residents are hoping something can be done so that this doesn't happen again.
KTLA's Rachel Menitoff is live in Pasadena with more on this story. Rachel.
Share Micah, those who know the bird say he's uniquely social. He'll often follow people around. They think the mailman might have been bothered or maybe even felt threatened by the animal. Still, though, they feel his reaction was unnecessary and disturbing. It's not uncommon to see.
Yeah, peacocks are actually interesting. They'll come up, they know you. They're very smart. They're interesting animals. I really like them. When down in Texas, my dad had some peacocks. They weren't his. They were like neighborhood peacocks. They would just come up to him, and everyone in the neighborhood names them, and they just kind of live around the neighborhood. Peacocks, people love those peacocks. And guess what? Chickens want to live just as much as peacocks do.
The beautiful birds roaming, eating, squawking, and one particular peacock made a name for himself, or really multiple names, between and
Look how pretty. Looks like an angel.
among people in this East Pasadena
Albino.
neighborhood.
We call him Sugar.
We call him Shen. Kung Fu Panda.
It's just something special about the neighborhood.
The white peacock has been living here for years, and he's a showstopper, especially when he spreads his wings.
That is cool.
I've been, petting him and feeding him.
I've never seen a white peacock.
I'm trying to get him to land on my arm, but I've never gotten that far yet.
But a disturbing, some might say foul interaction between the animal
Foul, get it? Foul.
and mailman has many wondering why. Gina Davis's surveillance cameras captured the postal employee throwing a rock at the bird, later returning with a stick and apparently striking it over the head, leaving the plume helplessly struggling in the street.
It was heartbreaking to see them, to see the poor peacock just rolling around on the ground and trying to stand, but he couldn't do it.
Davis called the Pasadena Humane Society. It's now treating the beloved neighborhood pet, which seems to be doing well. No broken bones or any serious neurological injuries. And while peacocks are generally not aggressive, they can chase, peck, or occasionally kick people when they're feeling territorial. Those who know and love this unique fella wish the confrontation was handled differently, maybe more humanely, and with more respect for the special bond between bird and man.
Maybe carry some sunflower seeds or something that you can just kind of throw off to the...
All right, we're going to go to KFC now, everybody. We're all going to KFC, yeah? Let's take the crew to KFC on the way home, huh? I want to get that sandwich where it's like literally 2 pieces of bird instead of bread. It's a sandwich made out of animal flesh, bird flesh on either side where bread would normally be. That's what I want to eat for lunch, everybody. Dead animal sandwich. Yeah.
So he can go away from you.
Or at least, I don't know, bring a shield or trash can lid or something.
Usually they would spray the animal or just put an umbrella out, but this guy seems like an idiot. Peacocks don't usually bother people. They usually don't. They usually do not. They make a lot of noise. They don't make that much noise. And you know who makes a lot of noise? Human beings. Human beings make all the Kentucky Fried Peacock. There you go. Kentucky Fried Peacock. Do it. Yeah. They don't make that much noise. They don't make that much noise. You very rarely hear them. I mean, you hear them sometimes, but that's like any bird.
Something defensive and not trying to kill the poor bird.
I hope he's going to be okay and still will be a character wherever he goes.
And the Humane Society says ideally they will release the bird back here to the neighborhood where he was found. Alternatively,
But we're going to kill the mailman, right?
he might be brought to some kind of a sanctuary. It'll all be dependent on the animal control investigation. We're live in Pasadena tonight. I'm Rachel Menitoff. I'll send it back to you in the studio.
That is a beautiful bird.
That's a beautiful bird. Let's so KFC, everybody. KFC, are we good with that?
Goodwill Industries takes in over 120.
All right, that was it. That's the end of the show, everybody. My name is Scott Jack Morgan. I'm an independent news and culture commentator, free speech and critical thinking advocate, and boy, am I glad that you're alive. What happened to the mail person? Nothing, probably. It's not illegal to kill a bird. It's not illegal to kill a a peacock. It's not illegal to abuse animals. If you wanted to right now, you can go to and pick up a dog and then bring that dog to your house and kill that dog, and there's nothing anybody would do about it. There's nothing anybody can do about it. You can go to a pound, pick up a cat, adopt a cat, and then go to the vet and put the cat to sleep immediately. Euthanize them right then and there. And no one can do anything about it. Because animals are objects in America, all animals are slaves, and as long as people see them as slaves, that's how we will keep going. That's animal abuse. Not if there was no damage. The animal wasn't even hurt. So you want to call it abuse, but no broken bones. The male person was eaten by all the other peacocks. Yeah. I mean, don't get me wrong. I think that they should kill that mailman. But, you know, if you think that the mailman was in the wrong, then I hope that all of you will not be eating any chickens anytime soon. Because after all, you're not like Scott Jennings, are you? You want to be consistent, right? You're not like Scott Jennings, who thinks that John Ossoff is a horrible man for saying that he is you're not a hypocrite, are you? You're not a hypocrite, are you? Of course not. You guys aren't hypocrites. You're rebels. Thank you, Jack. Keep feeling better and exploring the new hood, man. Stay safe. Thank you. I appreciate you very much. I had great faux chicken nuggets today. No need to kill. It's true. There's no need to kill anybody. There's no need to kill anybody. You know what I'm going to do today, actually, because I'm feeling a little bit better and my leg is feeling pretty good. I'm going to build my bed. I bought a bed. I bought a California king-sized bed because I've never had a California king-sized bed. And I'm a California king-sized man. I'm a very large man. And I've always had kind of like a biggest bed I ever owned was a queen. And I have this huge bedroom now. And I'm like, you know what? Fuck it, man. Get yourself a goddamn Cali king. Get yourself a goddamn Cali king. It's the best, right? I hope so. I never had one before. I hope so. It's a lot of bed, but I'm huge. I'm huge. And when I have overnight guests, we like to spread out, you know, we like to try a bunch of different positions and stuff. 100% tomorrow. What's 100% tomorrow? Tomorrow's Saturday. Tomorrow's just guitar, right? We're going to play guitar tomorrow. Actually, tomorrow my electrician is coming to fix the house because the seller is paying the electrician to come fix all the electrical bullshit in my house. So hopefully everything will be A-okay tomorrow. All right, I want to say thank you to all of you so much. Oh, 100% health. Thank you. I hope I'm 100% tomorrow. Yeah, you're beautiful. Thank you for saying that. Thank you. It's really nice. It's just a little, it's like, what, like 4 inches longer, 5 inches longer or something? I love it. You crave Cali, but buy the bed. No, I left Cali. It's a New Mexico king. It's a New Mexico king. Exactly. It's a New Mexico king. All right. I want to say thank you to all of you. Please, if you're not a Sky City Rebel, please become one. It's the best way to support the channel. And I hope you like the zine idea because I'm going to start a thing with that really soon. And thanks for everything. Thanks for support. Thanks for liking and subscribing. And thanks for the support. Share a short. Share any short with any friends, anywhere. Hit the share button on a short, please. Please go to the shorts on my page, on my YouTube channel, and share a short on Reddit, on fucking Facebook, anywhere you can. It helps so much because the algorithm sees that someone shared it. Even if you have 3 followers on Facebook, you got 3 Facebook friends, share it, please. It helps a ton. Bruh, good to know from another short family. It's okay if you're shorty. I love my shorties, but I'm glad. I'm glad that now that I'm so tall and I'm finally getting a bed that's my size. My husband and I are both under 55, and we love ours. It's like 2 different worlds. It is. Oh my God. You're both under 5'5", not 55. You're both under 5'5". Ugh. Imagine what it's like for me. You love the zine idea. Good. Awesome. Then I hope you will be a supporter when it comes time. All right. I say thank you again. Illegitimate non-carborundum. You got 3 subs, faux show. Thank you, Raul Duke. You're amazing. You're incredible. You're a wonderful human. Illegitimate non-carborundum. Don't let the bastards grind you down. Thank you to the moderators. Thank you to Bruh and Crazy Jackdaw. And thank you to the Sky City Rebels. I really do appreciate you from the bottom of my heart. And I'll be seeing you live at some point tomorrow, I think. If not, definitely on Sunday with Chip. We're going to talk about the ethics of pest control. Do you bomb the house? Do you bomb the house? All right. Thanks, everybody. Godspeed.
Thank you so much for watching. Don't forget to like and subscribe. Thank you so friggin' much.